We are coming at you live from the George Preston Recreation Center in the township of Langley in beautiful BC. It is Draw 2 action at the 2020 New Holland Canadian Junior Men's and Women's Curling Championships. My name is Al Cameron from Curling Canada. I'm joined today by Bill Sherhart, the longtime coaching mentor for Curling Canada and these New Holland Canadian Juniors. And Bill, we've got quite a match this afternoon as the host BC team, there's a BC host team, but this is the BC champion team, skipped by Hitachi Sato, is going to be taking on the Ontario team from Kingston, skipped by Owen Purdy. And first look at both of these teams, but just based on the fact that they're coming from two very powerful curling provinces, I expect a great game here.
Well, having lived in BC for a period of time, I know the BC boys pretty well. And I was in Guelph for the Ontario Championship and saw their final game, and it was an excellent game, and the skipper had to make a run-back double to win. So these are two strong teams. We're in for a great afternoon.
We'll quickly run down the lineups for these teams. The Ontario team from the Cataraqui Golf and Country Club in Kingston, site of the 2020 Tim Hortons Brier, by the way, skipped by Owen Purdy. The vice skip is Joshua Lund. The second is Nathan Steele. The lead, Colin Schnurr, and the coach, John Sawchuk, very familiar name among university curling circles, coaches at Brock University. And this BC championship team from the Royal City Curling Club in New Westminster, skipped by Hayato Sato. The vice skip is Matthew McCready. The second is Joshua Mickey. Lead, Jacob Umbach. And we'll talk about the coaching situation. Their main coach is Brent Pierce, but today they're being coached by Joshua's dad, Brian Mickey. Brent is participating in the BC Senior Playdowns this weekend in Tsawwassen. So, and interestingly, Brent's supposed to be on that team as well, or Brian's supposed to be on that team as well, but someone had to coach here this opening weekend. So we are underway. Ontario has last rock after pinning it in the last shot draw, and first shot is through the rings.
Well, I watched from the comfort of my hotel room this morning for draw number one, and we have a great surface here, compliments of Mike Merklinger. These young men will be able to play all the shots.
Very fast, very swingy, very release sensitive too, so these players will find out in a hurry if you put any pixie dust on that release, it's going to do some funny things.
Oh, we're into the pixie dust already. All right.
Corner guard called and made. It's a little far over on there, but usable.
That is a Brent Pierce model sliding device.
We were going to talk about this. Yes, that Brent Pierce for a long time used that exact same sliding device, and obviously did all right with it. We should mention Brent and Brian Mickey were members of the 2000 Brier champions that went on to win the World Championship in Glasgow.
Skipped by Greg McCauley.
Skipped by Greg McCauley. And while we're talking about Brent and Brian, we should mention that the senior team they are playing with this weekend in Tsawwassen with an eye of getting to their provincial championship is a reunion of the 1987 team that won the BC Junior Championship.
There is a lineage
There's
factor
always
here.
a lineage, that's right. So the open hit made, hit and stick by Ontario. And stepping into the hack, the latest Mickey, who is a very good curler, is Joshua Mickey. We should mention Joshua's grandfather, Brian's dad, of course, the legendary Fuji Mickey, who we see sitting just down the row from us here. Fuji, very accomplished curler himself, and a coach who is very involved in the Japanese program for a lot of years as well.
Well, they decided to play up and down the sheet a little bit, get used to the surface. Makes good sense.
Yeah, we see that quite often, don't we, Bill, at this event? Just a matter of getting some confidence, shaking out the cobwebs. They haven't been on the ice since practice yesterday, so.
But as you pointed out this morning, you were surprised that the young ladies got into it right away.
I was.
Yeah.
But it made for an entertaining first end, so we had that going for us. And that'll roll just off the rings by Nathan Steele. And he will clear the guard.
Let us not mess around with that corner guard.
Hayato Sato is going to say, let's move on to the second end, assuming everybody makes those shots.
Well, when you don't have last rock, you have to be able to identify the dangerous rocks, and that's a dangerous rock. Yeah.
It got even more dangerous after that. Now that guard is definitely usable for Ontario.
The trick here, of course, is to draw around that guard and stay in front of the center line, the T line, sorry, the T line. Now we timed the ice in the pregame warm-up, the draws to the button, and we got better than 14 seconds hog to hog.
They're working this hard. See if they can get it by. And it will.
That's a 4 out of 4.
That's pretty good for first end, I'll tell you. So Sato calls for the run back from his vice skip, Matthew McCready.
And they want to make this run back and hopefully lose the shooter as well. Stuffed it.
Yep. So, just as we said, they were looking for an open end. There is suddenly a deuce cooking up for Ontario.
Ontario is now in the driver's seat.
Yes. Okay, cool. Thank you.
And this is Ontario vice skip, Joshua Lund.
It's a bit tight. Close call. Close call. Close. Yes, call. Call it. Yes. Hard
They're
call.
working this.
Yes.
See if they can get it behind that guard.
Hard. Hard call it. Hard. Spill off. Spill off. Spill off. Spill off. Go. 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 Go.
Just rubs off. Can they get it into the paint? Doesn't look like it, Bill.
You know, they should have known the ice and the weight. They played that shot before this end, so the uncharacteristic miss, they needed that around. So a way for BC to kind of wiggle out of this potential 2.
Needs to hold the shooter here because you can guarantee Ontario will try and split that rock they just threw onto the ring. So very important that McCready holds the shooter here.
And they want to keep play on that side of the sheet. They do not want to get over underneath that cover on the other side unless it's right down to Skip's rocks.
Yep.
And maybe get a force. So we'll see how this unfolds. Boy, these athletes have such wonderful deliveries. My goodness.
Close. 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 Whoa. 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 Close. Close. Whoa. Whoa. Never. It's okay. My bad, bud. Really good throw.
Well, they were getting greedy looking for a roll there, but that's a good shot.
Do you want me to? Okay.
And as you suggested, it's a hit and stay here. They do not want to roll out, or they really don't want to roll in behind the cover, because you know what Ontario is going to do.
Our first look at Hayato Sato. Trying to get it to curl a little more. They can hold it, and that will spill out. So I think we know what will be taking place here from Ontario.
Here we go. And they will take either the come around or the split. So it kind of a 2-for-1 shot here.
Same.
Not sure what would be better here, the split or the dead come around. Interesting.
Let's do this. Looks big. Not big, eh? Lots of room. Oh, just load it.
It's not good when the brushers walk away.
Yep, they're abandoning hope here.
Brushes for sale. Oh dear.
All good.
This was an Alphonse Gaston into this end here, I think, Al.
Well, maybe to be expected. First round game at the New Holland Canadian Juniors.
It'll probably be solid. It's normal. Oh, yeah.
So a chance to remove that yellow stone for Sato.
Okay, clean. Just clean. Okay, Hato.
That's such a comforting word when you're
Clean,
the shooter.
clean, just clean.
Clean. And we think we know where this rock's going to go.
No control.
I think we can put the zeros up right now. It will be a blank between BC and Ontario.
Now, they've chosen this spot for a reason. They could deliver down any line of delivery. I would think maybe they might want to go out near the edge of the 8-foot to find out what it's doing out there. But this is the line that they chose.
You hate to see it.
Well, it is a blank, and Ontario will take last rock here into the second end. So it was an interesting end, and there was stuff going on, which is all you ask, obviously, but we'll see what takes place in the second end.
Good solid strategy on both sides. They just missed the shots. Strategy doesn't count for much unless you're going to make the shots. I've learned that over the years.
And one of my favorite things is sometimes strategy is overrated. If you can make 95% of your bad shot calls, you're going to do okay.
What did Mr. Jacobs' team shoot recently? As a team, 96%.
Yeah, doesn't matter what shots you call. You're gonna win a lot of games shooting 96.
Yes, you are.
So second end underway. Draw into the house, and we'll see what Ontario does, if they're going to call the corner or are they going to make the hit. It will be the hit.
Yeah, generally speaking, if the other team gets into the 4-foot, you want to get off that 4-foot. But there's lots of lots of rocks to come. A corner guard certainly would be a good strategy. Best part of this ice, for people who are mostly playing in their curling club, the difference between curling club ice and this championship ice is weight control. It means everything.
And speaking with John Sawchuk before the game, Bill, he said that his team would be aggressive, put rocks in play, let the other team take chances with the runbacks, and see how it plays. Although, interestingly, you saw this team win on a runback, so...
Yeah, and the ice in Guelph was excellent. They could play all the shots there as well, and they ended up having to play all the shots.
And it was a run-back double for the win?
Run back double for the win. And they talked about it for a long time, and it was kind of the only shot he had. I was a little concerned that they were putting too much pressure on the young man, but boy, he just went to into the hack and made the shot. We're off to Langley.
So it looks like they're going to keep this pretty wide open and clean, trading hits in this second end. 7 games on the ice this afternoon, 5 here at the George Preston Recreation Center Arena. And just about 50 meters behind me is the Langley Curling Center, and 2 more games going on there. Just a wonderful facility here, Bill.
It's a great facility, and of course it's the home to Team Tardy.
Yes, and it's notable that you'll see if you're inside the arena here, and maybe our production team can get a camera shot of it at some point, but there are 5 championship banners hanging over sheet E at the home end. All of Tyler Tardy's championships, 3 Canadian Junior Men's Championships, 2 World Junior Men's Championships. And they're hanging right over the 2 BC teams right now, Bill, which is kind of interesting because I guarantee all 8 of these players have run into the Tardy Express over the last few years and come away shorthanded with Tyler winning the last 4 Canadian Junior, BC Junior Championships.
It's a remarkable accomplishment. I was very, very fortunate to work with them on occasion, and wonderful people, parents, support, just a great team. And I think they might make a splash in Cranbrook in a couple of weeks.
Yes, we were talking about that with Tyler. He was on our color commentator for this morning, and he will take his team to Cranbrook for the BC Championships beginning later this month. Chance to go to Kingston for the Tim Hortons Brier. Looking across the rink, I see Jordan Tardy, Tyler Tardy, Sterling Middleton, all here taking in the action. And fair chance they might be involved in the opening ceremonies tonight, I would suspect. There has to be an opening rock thrown, so I know who my money's on.
I think you're right. Well, they not only could make a splash, I think they can get a lot of people wet in Cranbrook.
Reminder that you can get all the scores from the 2020 New Holland Canadian Juniors, curling.ca/scoreboard. curling.ca/scoreboard, and we'll keep you updated as we get those scores reported in.
And for people watching who are not active participants, Al, why does everybody have a brush that the brushing surface is the same color? They're all yellow. What's with that?
Well, that goes back to the 15-16 season when Broomgate was happening, of course. Broomgate where, and it was quite shocking, Bill, as you would remember, how everybody discovered practically at the same time that you could do some ungodly things with a curling broom.
Yes,
with the old fabrics and horsehairs, and they were, and to their credit, the players themselves said, you know what, we don't like the direction of the game. And there was, of course, the famous sweeping summit in Kemptville, Ontario in May of 2016, and that produced a very unanimous decision to standardize the fabric that is used on curling brooms for championships that lead to a Canadian or a world or an Olympic championship. And that is what you see out here now. It all comes from the same factory. They're distributed to the various brush head manufacturers, but it's all the same standardized fabric. And these brooms also, by the way, have to be approved by the umpires before each game. They check them to make sure that there's no inserts in there that produce different pressure points on the ice. So we're back to the way sweeping was intended, which is, in essence, to make the rock go further and to stop it from curling as much.
We're back to polishing the ice. And if you want to win the trivia contest, the fabric is Oxford Nylon 420D.
Clean.
Yeah, the C fabric that just didn't work out.
It
So they
just
went,
did.
this is D.
This is D.
There you go.
That's right.
That's close. Good.
So as predicted, they are trading takeouts. Sato now will try to make that Ontario stone go away.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, this is kind of what you would expect. 2 ends of some hits and get those butterflies out, because there would be butterflies in the opening game.
Pretty straight.
I think end number 3 is going to be a little different.
I like our chances. This is Owen Purdy, and or pardon me, this is Sato, Hayato Sato. Loves playing badminton in the summer. He volunteers at the Royal City Club in New Westminster in their Learn to Curl program, which is great to see. Love to see these players giving back.
Okay, clean, you're rolling out, you're rolling out. You're good, you're good, you're good.
And there is the rollout. I don't think Owen Purdy is displeased. He gets a chance to throw a draw here.
And he can pretty much throw it wherever he wishes.
A little more, Josh.
Another chance to learn another path
let's
of
make
the
a good one
ice. And take advantage of
Same
that.
420.
Owen has a good
your
sense
side.
of humor. He suggested that he feels a little confused. He's wondering if he's in the actual age group. He says, I'm the only player here with a bald head and a beard.
Well, I never thought about that.
Yeah. Studies engineering at Queen's University.
And that's why they're out of Cataraqui in Kingston. I talked
Wait
to
only.
Coach
Line's
Shuchuk
fine.
about that fact. He's from Niagara
Nate's,
Falls.
Nate's
apparently.
rock. Nate's rock.
Nader.
Line's all right.
And a shout out to a member of this organization, not
Good.
necessarily the team, their team manager. Their team manager is a very important part, and most of the juniors have someone who looks after a lot of the behind the scenes, bus transportation, meals, accommodation. And so a shout out to all of those parents or team managers that are integral parts of making a junior elite curling team function.
Clean, yep, clean, yep, yep. Hard. Yep. Yep, clean, clean, clean. Great throw, Hayato.
The open hit, and now we will see Owen Purdy try to peel this off the rings to get the blank and carry Last Rock
Norm,
into the third.
Don't have to really cook it here. Sir.
And the Ontario team manager is Rob Steele. The Tardy team manager is Anita Tardy, and I refer to as the managing general.
That's a very good description, and
Yep.
Anita is applying that same skill set on the host committee here.
Yes.
Boy, they're working this hard,
Yes. Hard.
keeping it straight. Will it overcurl?
Go, go, go. Go,
Trying
go,
to get
go,
it
go,
off the
go, go.
rings, but I think that's going to stay
fine.
on, and there is a single point, and you can see Owen Purdy not impressed with that attempt. But so it will be a 1-0 lead for Ontario, and BC will have Last Rock in the third end. You know, I've had an interesting conversation with Adam Kingsbury, whom you know, a longtime coach and a mental performance consultant as well for Curling Canada, and he was one of these guys that tried to keep things as positive as possible. And there's a lot of skips who would be disappointing with beaking a blank attempt like that, but you know, the mindset should be perhaps, listen, you're up 1 after the second end, and that's a control point. And that's not a terrible position. It's sure better than being behind.
You know, and it is all about attitude. Back in the days when we flipped a coin, if that should happen, I would say to a team, well, if you had lost the toss, you know, and you scored 1, would you be happy?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, okay, you lost the toss.
That's right.
I mean, come on.
A stolen single is a great victory. So, yep, that's and you see they're having a talk at the Hogline, the four of them, the Ontario team. Love to hear that conversation, but a good move, I think, a veteran move by this team, just to kind of gather themselves. And
Right now they're saying this was not in the plan.
and that was probably the result of that stone, the first rock from Ontario, coming onto the rings. I'm sure the guard was the call there.
Now we see a very interesting situation there. The Ontario rock was just biting the 12-foot, and that is not good because you saw BC hit it on the nose, and now that's protected in the free guard zone rule. So if you're going to be in the house, get the whole rock in the house. Don't just bite the 12-foot.
And that's a great position for BC. That's splittable. There's a lot of things that can be done with that stone. But as you note, in the 5-rock free guard zone rule, it cannot be removed from play. So Ontario is going to try and put a guard up.
It is game on, Al. Here we go, as predicted, and number 3.
Yeah, they will try and promote their own rock, BC. It looks like they'll play the Rays on their red stone that was short of the rings. I don't think the split's the call. I think they'd just like to be just off center and push it behind that guard.
Yeah, I think that's the call. We don't use this term as much anymore, but it was a very common term, and I still like it. There's sort of an imaginary rectangle, kind of about 4 or 5 feet in length, and on that center line. So you picture a rectangle, and we called it the control zone. And in the early part of the end, the battle is to get that control zone under your control.
So they did not play the straight back raise. It was a little heavy, but they still got the split. And watch very good sweeping over there by Josh Mickey to make sure it spun onto the rings. So sitting 2, and Ontario will try and remove one of those stones and roll their shooter behind the guard. Oh, great attempt there.
And BC is going to want to stay and keep those rocks as far apart as possible. So we got a little cat and mouse game going here.
And this is where the precision of the game is so important. They build it just to...
Yeah, and these hits are, again, it's all about weight control, and it's such a wonderful way to play on championship ice like this. Like, you don't have to throw it like it's going into the Pacific Ocean.
So you'd like to roll this to the outside, keep it... Well, the inside roll wasn't terrible either.
Or go undercover. But now that's going to give Ontario a bit of an opening because it's just biting the 8 foot. So we'll see what they're going to do here. Okay, I thought maybe they might want to beat them into the 4 foot. So not as aggressively as I thought they might be.
They'll play the run back. Did it over curl? No, nice shot. Took a little jump on them just past the halfway point in the ice.
But now we see BC able to play to the edge of the house, and as they said, they'd rather have the rock separated and leave that area into the 4 foot for a little bit later on. There are lots of rocks still to come here.
Would Ontario go right behind that center guard regardless of BC's positioning here?
Oh, I don't think so. Not this early. That would be kind of a desperation thing. It would be very risky.
Jake in. Split.
That's going to
Jake,
not curl enough. It's not going to get past the guard. That is a big break.
Yes, it is.
For Ontario.
Wow.
A little heavy, I think, and it just did not curl.
We're back to this Alphonse Gaston thing again.
Here you see, they were trying. If it hadn't made contact with the guard, that draw might have been through the house. So,
I think it was.
Yeah.
That's probably more why it didn't curl. It was just heavy.
Wow.
So a big opportunity now for Ontario.
Line's really nice. Line's really good. Close,
Stay
Colin.
close.
Nice
Close,
skip.
Colin.
Joshua
Colin.
Lund.
Yes. Call it a bit. No, you're good line. You're
Line's
good line.
great.
You're really good line.
And it left the
Wait,
corner
no,
guard
no, no,
up
it's
too,
cool.
so
You're really good line.
Whoa.
just hoping this doesn't go behind the T
High
line,
drill,
because
John.
that's
Sit.
Now, Ontario's got to be very careful. When you're playing around corner guards, you have to think of the house as a semicircle. The T line is your back line, because rocks are so much more valuable in front of the T line. So the fact that that went behind the T line BC's not that upset.
Nope.
Lines a touch tight. A little bit early. Where? Yep. Yep. Wait only. Whoa. Wait only. Looks like we're bumping. Whoa. Jake in. Jake, if anything. Whoa, 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 whoa. We're bumping.
That's
Whoa,
got to
whoa, whoa.
finish.
They don't want to bounce.
Well, now there's a question there. I was a little surprised
The
that
foot here fell off, I guess? Not too sure.
that yellow rock had needed to be moved back a little more, because if Ontario could be sitting 3 after this shot.
But of course, the forefoot is open, and you always like that situation to save the end. So we'll see how this transpires.
See, there's Bill in a nutshell. Always looking for the positives. I'm being the gloomy Gus.
I gave that one.
This is for Adam
Line,
Kingsbury.
what's the line? Whoa, I think it's... Line's good. Look up. Look up. Nathan right now. Line's great. Nathan's rock. Close. No, calling. Line's great. Freeze it. Freeze it. No bounce here, boys. It's all you. It's all you.
Oh, this looks pretty nice, Al.
Colin, too.
Didn't over curl though.
Oh, it might have, yes.
It's not back, Josh.
Yeah, I think BC is still shot. Just lost it at the end there.
When the team with last rock gets play towards the sides of the sheet, that's what they want to do. And so Ontario is kind of playing a very dangerous game right now. It could really explode on them, so they must be very precise here.
Still a touch tight.
Well, you heard the skipper say maybe a little tight, so there could be some brushing.
Hard. Real hard. Yeah.
Might be light and tight.
Gotta check. Hard roll.
That's not a good combination, right?
Light and tight. Nope. Mind you, the tightness might have come from the lightness too.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah. There's that weight control thing again.
You're still gonna run a hair straighter.
Sorry?
You
know,
run a hair straighter.
Frequently I get asked the quintessential question, what's the most important skill in our game? And in my mind, the most important skill is weight control. It can mask an awful lot of errors, if I can use that term. You keep throwing the right weight, you're going to make a lot of shots. And I think you're right. I think that shot was missed just on weight.
Do you like playing on that?
So what's the discussion here, Bill? Or
Well,
maybe
no.
we'll listen in here.
Just play the hit and roll? Yeah.
Changed his mind in the
that's
hack.
what I'm thinking.
Oh, I'm not so sure about
like this?
This?
Yeah.
I mean, we're sitting 4 if we
I
make
don't hate it.
I was thinking saving it for your last, but
That's kind of
just
what I
keep
was
it
thinking
straight
too.
wraps. What do you think?
Because
Don't hate it.
don't hate it.
Even if you just so I guess he just straight wraps.
Board?
Okay.
I like it. I don't mind it. Nose, it's okay.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
I think there's board.
Yeah.
Should curl up.
Okay, let's try it.
What'd you like, Bill?
Well, I can't really see from the, oh, there we go, okay.
Hack?
Yeah, there's more room
Okay,
than I thought.
sure.
And of course, you heard the important phrase, if we make this, we're line 4. Now, they've played a lot of come-arounds. I think they know
Yeah,
that
you like
shot
this
a little
ice?
bit better. So I'm good with this. There's a lot more room there than I thought.
But this is definitely about weight control too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they talked about just board up, maybe. Did I get that right?
Yep.
Well, we're going to find out.
Whoa, no.
That would indicate it's not narrow.
Yeah, that
No, Colin. Gotta curl.
might spill the BC rock into the. Will it jam? No, it's through.
Again, they're struggling with line and weight. They both are struggling with line and weight. They just don't have a handle on the ice yet.
I gave you about there, but you're probably.
Boy, this is a roller coaster
Yeah.
ride.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Thinking probably about there.
You thinking there? Okay.
It curls pretty good.
Okay.
Now, BC, again, they're playing a come around, and they want to stay in front of the tee line, but they want to lie 1-2, of course, and just sit on the corner of that yellow rock. And if they do, they are in good shape.
I got 16-5 on Matt. Yeah,
So
it's probably, top 8.
let's hear this now. So there's the communication already, even before the shot begins. They're talking about the speed of the ice and the amount of curl and the late break. You don't want to brush through the break. That was a pretty exacting shot. This is what curling's all about right here, folks.
Only for weight. Okay.
Well then,
And these brushers don't want anything to do with it right now.
If
So
we're T line, we can't be there. Can't be T. Okay, yep. Yes.
hard.
Yes. Hard.
Whoa.
don't want that to bump open.
Pretty good, kid.
That's not going to be an easy shot. I think Ontario's all they've got is the corner freeze here. So mission accomplished.
Yep, they've seen how to make the shot, so they've got to duplicate it in some fashion.
420?
It's pretty simple here.
Sato didn't look too happy with it, but boy, I don't mind it.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Sit one.
looks pretty good to me.
Sitting 2 in front of the tee line, and if Owen Purcell does
Lick,
not
let's go.
make this shot perfect, or in Purdy, pardon me, doesn't make this shot perfect, there's an opportunity for BC.
Let's listen to the communication all the way down the ice.
You got room right now. No, room. No, got a curl still. No, never. Never, no.
Mine's pretty good.
No,
Mine's
never,
pretty
never.
good.
Don't touch it.
That's looks like an open hit for 3 to me.
Yeah, because it's going to be red, yellow, red, yellow.
It looks like it's edge. I can probably.
I think it's just
still
open,
have it.
Bill. I don't even think it needs to just get to nose.
Well,
and-
maybe not. I'm looking at, from my perspective, oh, maybe, yeah, you could be right.
It happens, Bill. Now and then. I think I heard him say it's edge to edge, that they can see all of the rock from the
Yeah.
hack.
Gonna
So
touch more or
And,
no?
and I didn't think they could from our position, but once again, you're right, Al. I hate it when
every
you're
now
right.
and then. Yeah, you can see there. It's wide open.
Yeah, it is wide open. Yeah, much more so than I thought. Yeah.
So here it is, a big chance for
Come back,
Hayato
it should
Sato.
Stay straight.
It's all about throw the right way. Hit the brim, throw the right way.
Yep.
Clean.
Clean. Whoa, whoa. Down, dig.
Trying to get this to curl a little bit.
Dig.
Oh.
Hard.
Hard.
Go, 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 go. Hard, 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 hard.
Boy, that went from a 3 to a 1.
Yeah,
Big.
He didn't have to throw it that hard.
So an opportunity slips away from BC. And that's been the story of this game. Both teams have had opportunities and let them get away, and that leaves us in a 1-1 tie. After 3 ends, Ontario will take the hammer into the 4th, but you can see Hayato Sato was not happy with that result. And hard to blame him.
That sigh you heard, I think, was from the coach's bench. Compliments of Coach Sawchuk. Oh, yeah, they let that one get away, Al.
I'll tell you about a few of the other games going on in this afternoon's draw. Men's game over on sheet A. You've got Northern Ontario. Jacob Horgan, who has won a number of medals at this event, playing with his brother Tanner. He's skipping for the first time at this event, although he skipped Northern Ontario to a U18 championship a few years ago. So he's familiar with the T-head. He is down 1-0 to Quebec's Greg Cheel. Greg Cheel and the Quebec team played this morning against the Manitoba number 2 team and had a 6-0 lead after 3 ends, only to see Jacques Gauthier and that Manitoba 2 team come back, force the extra end, and score the winner in the extra end with the hammer. So a great comeback for a 10-9 win by Manitoba number 2. And as I say, it's now it's 1-0 for Quebec over North Ontario in that men's game. Also in men's action here at the arena, you've got, next door at the Langley Curling Center, you've got Nova Scotia, Graham Weagle, the 2018 under-18 champ. He's got a 2-0 lead on Manitoba number 1, the Manitoba champions, skipped by Brett Walter. 2-0 after 2 ends in that game. And also here at the arena, you've got the BC number 2 team, skipped by Johnson Tao. They are taking on Newfoundland Labrador, and it is a 2-1 lead for Newfoundland Labrador's Daniel Bruce playing in the 4th end. And in the women's games this afternoon, draw 2. You've got the Northwest Territories jumping out to a 3-0 lead on Ontario. Northwest Territories skipped by Tiana Bain from Inuvik, playing the Ontario team skipped by Sierra Sutherland from the Rideau Club in Ottawa. 3-0 in that game in the 3rd end. Northwest Territories stealing 2 in the 2nd end after 1 in the 1st. The other games are very early. You got Saskatchewan playing Manitoba. Saskatchewan, playing Alberta. Saskatchewan team skipped by, just going through my media guide here, Ashley Teveno from the Sutherland Club in Saskatoon, taking on the Alberta team, 2 members of the defending champion team that was skipped by Selena Sturmey last year. Abby Marks now skipping, and the Alberta leading that game 1-0. Manitoba, Mackenzie Zacharias, good team there. That's a favorite, I would think, to be in the playoffs, if not the gold medal game on Sunday. Mackenzie Zacharias, bolstered by the addition of Carly Burgess and Lauren Lenentine. They're up 2-0 on Prince Edward Island in the 3rd end in that game as well. Interesting, Lauren Lenentine making history here as the first female player to now have played for 3 different member associations at the Canadian Juniors. She skipped Prince Edward Island 2 or 3 years ago. Last year she played for Nova Scotia, and she has moved to Manitoba to pursue her education and now playing in this championship for Manitoba.
Does Carly Burgess's nose have a tinge of blue, possibly?
Quite potentially. Carly, of course, can make history. She's going for her 3rd Canadian Junior Women's Championship. Nobody's ever done that before. No female has ever done that before in Canada.
And of course, my blue reference was to Nova Scotia, playing out of that province.
Blue noses.
Blue noses, right.
And blue uniforms, of course. So we've got, we're back to the open hits in this end.
Yeah, I'm mildly surprised. Maybe they're both a little shell-shocked.
Yeah. Both skips have missed their last shots in the last 2 ends, so I think it's just one of these kind of gather themselves and...
Yeah, let's settle the nerves.
Yeah. I was talking to Brian Mickey about this BC team. They were put together with an eye on if Tyler Tardy had declared for his last year junior eligibility, which he could have. This team was put together as, its last best chance to beat Tardy, and they didn't need to, as it turned out. But they had a bit of an eye-opening experience earlier this year. They were a very solid team in the BC junior ranks all year, and they qualified for the XL Cup, the XL Under 21 Cup, which is a top-level junior event that takes place in Okotoks, Alberta. They went there with fairly high expectations, but went 0-5 in the round robin. That was a round robin that featured the likes of both the Alberta champ, Ryan Jacques, and as well as the Saskatchewan champ, Rylan Clater. So
Like a 20?
good teams in that.
I'll give it
and
to you guys.
according to Brian, he figured that was a wake-up call for the Sato team, going 0-5 in that junior spiel in Okotoks.
Yes, that tardy decision, that was the sort of
Line's
the
good.
topic du jour in the offseason
Line's
as to
great.
what Tyler was going
Yeah.
to do in his last year of
Yeah, hard
eligibility.
line. Line's good. Line's okay.
Wasn't an easy
Wait,
decision,
wait, look
but I
off.
concurred. I think it's the
Just
right
a stop
decision.
12 here. Line's
It's yours, Cole, it's
amazing.
yours.
Of course, my concurrence was
No,
not that
no.
significant.
Yes, Tyler and I were speaking of that this morning, and he said one of the reasons that went into it is you got to start earning points this season to get into the pre-trials, the Road to the Roar pre-trials, which will take place in the fall of 2021. One of the last
Up to
steps
you.
before the Tim Hortons Roar of the Rings in
Just hack.
Saskatoon. And that, of course, will decide our 4-player curling teams for the 2022 Winter Olympics in Beijing.
Well, Matthew put up a long guard.
Clean.
I don't know if he did that
Yep.
on purpose. I suggest
Yep.
probably not.
Clean.
But it could be
Clean.
important. Now, long
Yep.
guards really aren't that significant, of course, because there's so much room and time for
Yep.
rocks to curl.
Real hard.
But they certainly want to get behind it.
They got to get that off the rings, though. Good alert sweeping by Hayato Sato to get that off.
That's a pretty good shot. It's
I don't
available,
mind control. Sure. Yep.
but it's changed
Yeah.
the rotation.
It's got a nice roll.
Now Mickey's hands must go in a clockwise direction.
Yes, hard.
Yep.
Hard early.
Yep, yep.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Close.
That went from
Close.
panic
Close.
to whoa
Close,
in
yes.
a hurry.
All the way hard, whoa.
Yeah.
Hard, Nate.
Yeah.
Hard.
Yes.
Hard.
Yeah, yeah,
Good,
yeah.
Josh. Good.
There was a lot going on that throw.
Yes, there was. Just watching Joshua's slide, I would imagine that
Just
he is
control.
right side dominant. That means
Should be able to hold it.
his dominant eye is his right eye, and he delivers the
curled up
rock
that.
with his right hand. And so
Yeah.
he will not be right behind the rock. But for him, that's the right thing to do. Eye dominance, very important.
So the hit being played by Hayato Sato.
Clean.
Jake,
Whoa,
Jake,
whoa,
Jake.
Jake's rock. Clean, clean. Yep. Clean. You're rolling a touch, but it's okay. Good throw, Heidel.
So a decision here.
That tight.
So that, it doesn't move much.
Okay.
Looks like they will play the hit. And
Just
do
control.
they want to roll
contract for the
behind that
roll
guard,
here.
Bill?
Well,
Yeah. It
if they
doesn't
roll
move
to the
much here at
open,
all,
they're
so-
going to force BC into trying to do exactly the same thing, roll behind the guard. So it's a case of, do we want to get there first? Obviously, the most number of points they can score is 2. When there's only 2 rocks left, that tells me the most they can get is 2. That's why
That's why you get the big dollars.
that's it.
Whoa. Ever.
That's got some curling to do, Bill.
Okay.
And it will not. Probably a little too much weight for a shot like
yeah,
that.
Again, I think it's weight control. Yep. Yep. I work with Matthew at a summer camp, and he is very animated. He's a wonderful young man, very talented,
I got 16
and a
five
great
on
instructor at
crushes
the
to
camp.
the top 12, so 16's probably close.
So they're playing the draw and hoping to, if not steal, certainly force Ontario to take a point.
Just top 4. Half in the 4-foot's perfect. Jake's rock all day. Half in the 4-foot. Curling now. Half in the 4-foot. Right to my broom, guys.
And there's a wonderful example of exactly what I meant about Matthew.
Yep.
Great spot.
He's in charge here.
That's neat. Just so awesome.
That's pretty well undercover, Al.
Or do you go straight for the double?
And again, I know it's a long guard,
Can't
but
see
they
much.
got behind it.
Like hack? I think I like this. No? It's up to you.
Draw the button or hit and
you.
roll.
I feel
What
like
can you
that's-
see on this? I like this. Let's do this. Just this.
I'm
I
not
think
sure
that's
how
easy.
comfortable
Yeah, I
they
think
would
so
be
too.
drawing
Wait,
a
you
button
like
at
hack?
this stage.
Hack? Yeah. Okay, hack there. Yeah.
They're having
I
trouble
know,
just
and-
with weight control with
I
the
guess
hits, much
just
less the
that if you're
draws.
wide,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Just hack here. Knows that one if we. The tight one.
By the way, you know, talking about Matthew McCready, it was
Throw a
him
hack here. Should
who Tyler Tardy defeated to win his first BC Junior Men's Championship in 2016 in Kamloops. Matthew had a team of all 16-year-olds that year, and Tyler was a KG veteran at 17.
And didn't they do that again when it was at New West? Was McCready in the final there as well?
Not sure about that.
Do the
I have to
inside.
tell you, I remember watching that
Yeah.
2016 final, but now here's the big
Yes.
shot for Ontario.
Hard going. Hard going. You got it.
Owen Purdy, they're playing the tap and roll here. Will it roll too far, though?
Sit. Okay, works.
Oh, very nice, I believe. Is it enough? No,
I
Yellow?
think that is yellow.
I think it is. Again, from where I sit, just seeing in the naked eye, I thought it rolled closer to the button.
There's a great
but-
look on the overhead.
Measure it? Okay,
They're
sure.
going to measure it. But from here, with absolutely no say in the matter, it looks yellow.
Now, notice the way they're going to measure this.
With a micrometer, I hope.
With the micrometer, right. So those of you that are so used to seeing them bring out the manual,
I
the
don't
big
know.
measure, watch how they do this now.
It's big.
Hey, curling's high tech
How
here.
big?
It is.
Yeah.
The laser measure, brought out by Marg White,
Mark White, yep.
Curling Canada official. She recently was in Finland at the World Junior B Championship. They're all learning on the job, but this is the first, I believe this is the first Curling Canada Championship that's used this.
They've tested it for about 2 years. Brett Waldrop is here, again, one of our very experienced officials. In fact, he's going to meet with the coaches on Sunday night in a professional development session and talk about the new technology in officiating.
And Brett oversees the umpiring program in Canada. Just like you said, just a very well-respected, knowledgeable, and fair official umpire. Say the only downside to these is there's no visual element that you can see on.
And the way Brett explained it, they kind of sweep the laser until they get the most accurate number, and it obviously does come up now as a number. It's not a dial situation.
And that is a point for Ontario. So they will take a 2-1 lead into the fifth end. That was a great shot. Under pressure, looking at 2 by Owen Purdy.
It sure didn't look that way from where we sat, though. We're hardly ever wrong, Al. I can't even say that with a straight face anymore.
So, Bill, as the coaching mentor, talk about what your role is during these championships.
Well, back in 2008, when the championship was in Seminarm, the coaches at the coaches meeting at the end of the event suggested to Danny Lamoureux, Championship Services for Curling Canada, that would be a good idea because so many coaches are at a national event for the very first time, along with a lot of stakeholders, parents, and that sort of thing, that it would be great if there was somebody that had been there, done that, just to be available to the coaches. And so I happened to be coaching Team BC at the time, and the eyes kind of went towards me. I was national development coach for the then Canadian Curling Association. And so we piloted it for a year, and nobody said I can't keep doing it. So I've been doing it for 11 years, and it's worked out pretty well. And I just referred to as a resource coach. I'm available to speak with the coaches and the athletes about anything outside the playing surface.
We should note Bill has some other roles within curling in this country as well. He coaches our senior national teams at the World Seniors and won a few gold medals with those teams over the years.
Well, people ask me, we've had good success, and people ask me, Bill, how do you do it? And I said, well, the first thing I do is I get to take really good teams. And the second thing, I just stay out of their way pretty much. And this year I have a wonderful opportunity to take two teams, not just from the same province, but from the same curling club, the Nutana in Saskatoon, and of course it's Sherry Anderson's team, who are trying to make some curling history and be three-time champions in the Bruce Cordy men's team.
And that, of course, a big long road trip, Kelowna, BC.
Yeah, tell me about it. I lived in BC, and of course this year the juniors are where? Here in Langley. I could have driven, and of course the World Seniors, so we've been literally all over the world. And I could have driven to Kelowna. No, we're going to fly from fly from Ontario.
And Bill, just your memory was pretty close, but not quite. 2017, Tyler Tardy beat Kyle Habkirk of Victoria in the final, but Matthew
right.
McCready won the bronze medal that year.
It was Kyle Habkirk, that's right. Yeah. I think Ken McDonald was the coach of the Habkirk team, as I recall. So BC is trying to set up an end here for a multiple score. Got one behind cover. Now they're going, and this is one of my favorite calls. They're going to the back quadrant. I love this call because now that puts a little extra pressure on the Ontario team. Do we leave that rock, which ultimately could be part of a multiple score? So don't be afraid to draw to the back quadrant. It's a great call.
You know, it's funny that you talk about that. That just brings back a memory of I attended a clinic when the three-rock rule was introduced in Kamloops. It was conducted by Rick Folk.
Rick who?
Yeah, he's okay. Rick Folk. And that was one of his suggested calls with the three-rock rule, that back quadrant, for the exact same reasons that you mentioned. And that would have been, I guess, 1993, 1994, thereabouts.
Well, it's the forgotten call, and if you stop and think about it, if you draw to the back quadrant, whatever the other team does is wrong. you can take advantage of whatever they do. It's a great call. That Rick Folk, he's a pretty smart guy.
Yes, two-time Brier, two-time world champion, 1980 representing Saskatchewan, 1994 representing British Columbia. Here's Joshua Mickey playing the hit to sit two here with that center guard in play, and they'd love to get the hit and roll here. Cross the face. Counterclockwise rotation, his out turn. Trying to get it to curl a little. Would love to hold that second shot. They will sit two, thanks to that back quadrant special that...
Here we go. I really hope that comes into play.
So the hit is called at Purdy. And it will roll over. But it's in a position, I mean, BC's got to be careful about the jam. It is sitting shot stone, though. Sato just making sure that if they nose it, that it will be on the rings. But rolling it onto the rings definitely brings the jam into play, does it not, Bill?
Yeah, I think there's enough room. They're far enough apart. It should be okay. But again, they don't really have a handle on the line and the ice just quite yet. So could be a bit of an adventure here.
No early.
All the teams did have a full practice yesterday on all the sheets here in the arena, as well as over at the curling club.
Gotta go. Hard.
That is going to need to curl.
Okay.
And it is on the rings, but it is third shot now.
Yeah, you can see all of it. Could do this.
I'm going to make
Yeah.
a comment about pregame
Control.
practice if I
Control.
can, for those of you that get involved at this level with pregame practices. I know this, draw to the button to try to get last rock advantage, and it's predominantly the time that is spent in pregame practice. But for heaven's sakes, have somebody on the team throw into the edge of the 8-foot, find out what's happening out there as well.
Whoa!
So sitting 1-2 now, Ontario, after that shot by Ontario. Joshua Lund making the hit. Now Sato makes the call for McCready. We'll see if he can make the double here. It's there. It's going to take a good shot, good throw.
Please.
Can he make the double and still stay? I can't quite tell.
Hard to stick, Josh.
Real hard. Gotta go.
Hard to stick.
Okay.
Well, we'll never know.
Yeah, Matt's having trouble out there. He's losing a little confidence. Like, you kind of see it in his eyes. He's just not quite. Is this the right way
15?
for this particular
Full
line
12.
of delivery?
I'll give it to you guys.
He's fighting it.
So Joshua Lund now has a chance to get into the rings to sit 2. That puts
Line's good.
the force in play for
Line's
BC.
good.
If not a steal for
Line's
Ontario, if they
great.
can get this in a good spot.
Got room. Take a look, Nathan. Nathan. Nate, draw.
It's you, nah. I don't know. Back yours is not bad.
It's kind of like one of those what do you do situations.
Yeah,
I think they would have liked to have taken that a little deeper, though, because, well, that would be a tough double, I think. So.
Well, they had designs that it might stop in front of the tee line, and then they didn't think it would stop in front of the tee line. So how far do we take it back? And we're not quite sure.
Yeah, looking at that angle, the double is not there. So though BC will just try and tuck one in behind that guard. Front of the tee line would be preferred.
Wait on Lee.
Watch her.
Got a bit of room. Where?
Go, Jake.
Hard then. Jake in. Gotta go. Real hard to curl.
Hard,
Go,
guys.
go.
Hard, guys.
Hard.
Hard, guys. Hard, guys. Go.
Hard.
Get it there. Go.
Real hard.
Go.
Just a little short. Fully buried, but, well, maybe not quite fully buried, but I think Ontario wouldn't, if they're sitting one, I don't
You ever
see.
corner freeze on your red?
Yeah.
And if you're up,
I
just
actually
rat.
really like that. Yeah.
Just straight rat.
Corner freeze.
I like that too.
Yeah. I think we're here.
Okay.
You like that, Bill? The corner
do it.
freeze?
I think light's
You know,
fine
it's
here, right?
interesting,
for sure.
and that's another shot we don't play often enough. If there's a rock that's kind of
Like last one?
dangerous,
Yeah.
so what do we do with it? And so often we
freeze?
forget that if you draw to the
Yeah.
corner of a dangerous rock,
Tolerance is down.
you
If I'm
render
a
it
three or-
useless.
It's not the
Now
worst.
it's very precise.
Oh, that's the thing.
But you don't want to take the
Like
chance of
430?
playing it and jamming it. So I just say to teams, don't forget about that shot. And if you think it's in the toolbox, then play it. Sit on the corner because it renders it useless.
Even light renders it useless in terms of the promotion, but you don't want to ever be heavy here because it won't take
No.
much to promote it into shot position either.
That's what they're protecting. Yes.
Just here, guys. Are we wrapping? Are we wrapping, guys? Okay, then, yeah, let's do it then. No, you still got lots of room, though.
Mine's real good to
I
wrap.
think they're going to try and
Yeah.
get it
Nate's
behind that
rock, though.
redstone
Cheers, Nate.
now.
You really got to curl.
You really got to
No.
go, Nate. Right to the back.
Yeah, keep
right
going,
to the
keep
back,
going.
Nate.
But they don't want to leave the
Yeah,
double,
go,
though.
Yes!
go.
Hard!
Gotta go.
Uh-oh.
Well, how much of it is covered? Well, half, maybe. Well, it's certainly available. No question about that.
Well, they don't even have to take them both out of the rings, right? They
No,
just got to get
no.
them
Do this.
both to the back 12.
Like their rocks are pretty active. That's really tough. Probably just coming to it.
Like even if you're here, he has to guard, and you always have that, right?
Yeah, we're kissed from a bit tight. We always
Touch
got the
that, and then
chap.
we're 2-3, right?
Well, it'll be tough to get 2-3, but
We'll
maybe.
be 2
But
at the 5.
just play that.
Do you like same line as me?
I gave you about, we were, yeah, probably. Just a touch less.
I didn't think I'd ever hear a junior
Chap and
use
lie?
the word chap.
Bump
Yep.
it just a touch.
That's I heard that and I thought the
Freeze
same
touch.
thing.
Oh, explain chap.
No, no, I'm deferring to you.
Probably
Oh,
playing
okay.
about,
All right.
You're the expert commentator here.
Okay, oh, really?
There's two. Well, speak to Chap.
I like a touch less ice.
It's a very subtle hit and roll.
Exactly.
And the old-fashioned
it,
term was
yeah.
chap and lie.
Timeout,
Right.
Red.
But it's a hit and roll, but it's a very exacting hit and roll.
Timeout being called by BC. The other thing I wanted to ask about, they
think you
mentioned
can hit it,
active
though.
rocks.
Well, this
You're
is an
probably
interesting
jamming if you're
situation because
sticking.
We'll listen to them first and then
okay,
we'll.
yep, sorry.
He's probably gonna call like half.
Well, then you're not going to get them out. With a hack waiter?
He's probably gonna call like hack and do this. That's what I'm scared of. Yeah.
Except you just stick it there. He's coming here, and I'm drawing wide side to the T line
Yeah.
against 2. Like, that's not the easiest.
I don't know.
You ever go for just a free bump or a chop like that? And he
Unless you're thinking that you throw like back line and try to hit it thin and go here.
Or just make the straight double and roll out.
Well, that's pretty hard too. Like,
Here's Brian Mickey, the coach.
My end, I think I can see about at least pick
yeah, but if you ever jam there, it's just an automatic force.
But what's it? How much is it to make the double?
Like, you have to make it over top. You got to hit it pretty thin. It's thinner than that, Sato. Like center line side.
That's literally where you have to hit it to kill it off there.
Be hair thinner than.
It's about there.
My point being, when I was down there, we threw multiple down here, and you can get away with probably just control, or you just have to push it outside of that.
Well, controller's probably still
You're
rolling
rolling out,
out,
though.
but
That's fine.
Is it though? Because then he just loops around and then it's a force still.
Fair enough. Okay, so you're gonna come down and push it. I'm with you
Well,
guys
if we
on this.
glue it, he's forced to center guard, and then at least we have that for a point or two.
Okay. I'm just giving you guys options. I just thought.
well, we're
you know,
probably
that I-
playing to tap it with back 4.
Okay. I just wanted to give you another option. We're at the point here. I'm just thinking, okay, is the double an option? I didn't know. From my end, it looked pretty good.
I think it's kind of hard. Half the time, you're like 3/4 of the time, you're sticking. Like dead.
Well,
just
I'm not
right.
even worried about it. Let it make that second shot.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay.
That's a tough one. Like if you get down there and then all of a sudden he just throws a guard on there. And
Can we
you
throw
go-
at
You
least
think
board
we-
though?
No, it's up to you guys. I'm not changing your mind. I'm just saying look at the other option there. Right, you got time. So even if you double that one off,
If you
get
hate
that
playing
double-
the draw tight and then just splitting the reds in, I guess
Yeah,
that doesn't really do
yeah,
too
no,
much.
well, then you'll get second shot, right? If you chisel it. If you come down and tap it, then he's going to probably throw a guard on there and say, yeah, go for it. So it's up to you guys. I'm not here to change your mind. Just want you to
Okay.
What did you like about that conversation?
Okay,
Bill?
that was very
You like the
interesting
freeze or you
because
like
every
this?
team
Yeah, I
should
just don't think
practice
this is the
timeouts.
easiest shot. Like, you're
And-
rolling out
and
most
the team
of the time. and
decides, like
that's
right
really
off the
bad,
hop,
so
okay, coach,
I
we
don't
want
mind
you to
this.
come and tell us the
We're probably
options.
playing a
Make sure
topic
we can
here,
see all
so
the
back
options.
4.
But there are other teams that will say, coach, we want you to come out and
So,
tell us what shot
probably
you
taking a
like
bit
us to
less.
play. It's very
work
much
hard to
a
get on,
team dynamics issue. And so often
Probably gonna
after
touch well.
timeouts, and we talk about this in the coaches'
touch
lounge, we've talked about it for years, the number of
Back 4.
times that you call timeout and then you miss the shot. So that I really enjoyed
Yeah.
what Brian said. Now, obviously, they've decided, Coach, we want you to come out and make sure we're aware of all the options. And so it's a very democratic situation, and he's going to let the team decide on the shots. So here
Brian
we-
Mickey, I think
here
you'd
we go.
agree, just one of the true gentlemen of this sport. You won't find anybody who has anything bad to say about Brian Mickey. A great curler, great guy. Really pleased to see him on this national stage with his son.
Go off the red then.
So I believe the
Jake.
call was to draw up
Jake.
to the
Jake to hit
Ontario
something.
stone. They needed
Hard,
to,
Jake, go, go,
might have
go,
been a
go.
little heavy.
Yep, yep. Hard, Jake, go. Hard, buddy, go, 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 go. Hard in the yellow. Go, 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 go.
No, I don't know about that. That's Ontario still sitting shot. That needed to curl a little more.
Well, there might be a timeout here by Ontario.
Open, are we setting him up a triple?
Let's listen.
Triple for 3. Triple for 2.
For 2.
Guess we're wide open.
If we're light and like guarding that, what does he throw? He just draws there.
Which is okay.
Yeah. I guess we can play aggressive for this.
I don't mind this. I just threw it. Worst case, I corner freeze again, and he's still drawing. Like,
Yeah. And if you're light, yeah, just block off the path.
But this is the shot. This is the shot.
I think so, yeah.
As close, right?
Yeah, we played aggressively, right? Okay, let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
I heard the magic phrase.
Okay, let's do it.
Come back
I
here.
heard
It's
the magic
okay.
phrase.
Yeah.
I just threw it.
That's, yeah.
There you go. That's the shot I want to play. I just threw it. I know. I know everything about it. I know the line. I know the
It's
way.
the same, yeah,
Let's
took a
play it.
piece.
I really like that.
Really? Yeah, same way.
That was a good conversation between third and Skip. Really
Like
good.
a lick less? Yeah. Bit less, Josh.
And I'll talk about that as the game goes on, Bill, but that's,
Okay, seems
you know, one of those coachable things. You can coach delivery, you can coach sweeping technique, but boy, coaching communication and the ability to communicate, such an underrated element, such a crucial element.
less for sure.
And that's why you have to empower the team.
Line's great.
You know, I think so many coaches want to
Tee,
sort of
guys.
inject themselves
Tee
into
line's
that.
really good.
You're not
Line's
going to be
great.
out there on the ice. You're not playing the shots, and you're not
Nate's
talking
off.
about
Nate,
it unless
Nate.
it's a timeout.
Nate.
I really liked how they handled
You
that.
really got to curl.
Line's perfect. Line's
Hard,
really
Nate.
good.
Look up, just tee. Nate.
Can't leave this open, though.
Nate, go on, Nate. Yes.
I think that got enough to triple.
Good.
Really good. Really good.
I don't think you could make it any better than
Yeah,
that.
no, that's
a great shot.
Snapped in pretty nice.
In front of the tee line.
Well, Matthew
I
McCready
think so.
thinks the triple's there, I think, but
Yeah.
no, they'll play the draw. Yeah.
Wow.
But this brings
Right
up
on
my
the tee line.
recommended change rule, the just for fun rule. If he makes the draw, great. Leave the rocks in play. Let him try the triple just to see if it was there. I would
Yeah.
like to know.
Yeah, we'd love it.
Yeah. Just for
pretty quick,
funsies.
Not sure if the
Still pretty
officials
quick.
will be too thrilled.
Well, come on, it's for the fans.
Probably more.
So how do you feel about the button?
All I know is from the hack, it would look awfully small to me.
We'll let the picture do the talking here.
Where? Hey, you can go, Josh.
Yeah,
All
line.
You, bud. Oh,
Whoa,
line.
whoa, line. Wait only.
all
Yeah,
you,
line.
Josh. You need a rub? Yeah, line.
Not
yep,
bad,
yep,
Bill.
Yes. Hard.
Oh, did they lose it at the end? Oh, just lost it at the end.
Well, I tell you what I don't like, and people out there that are curlers, don't lift your brush off the ice. If you're going to stop brushing, well, okay, stop brushing, but keep your brush on the ice. Don't get me started.
Just grabbed at the last minute, and that means a steal of one for Ontario. That's a big point, and it will be a 3-1 lead going into the fifth end break. And we'll be back in a few minutes at the 2020 New Holland Canadian Junior Men's and Women's Curling Championships.
the ice, and the rocks, and the sweeping, and the yelling. Each game starts with a handshake. Then, 2 teams of 4 people take turns throwing 44-pound stones down a sheet of ice. Each team throws 8 rocks, and the team closest to the center after all the rocks are thrown will score the points. This process is repeated for 6 to 10 rounds until one team is victorious. It's just that simple. Or is it?
This ice is everything. It's where I come to feel close to her, to feel whole. This building helped raise me when my mother no longer could. When I step on the ice, she steps with me. My dad is my rock. We're a team now, like the 4 of us when we step on the ice. People say that this isn't a contact sport, but that's not true. It contacts you where you need it the most.
One might say I was born to overcome challenges. 2 months premature, in and out of the hospital, and a heart condition. My parents call me their miracle baby. As with all survivors, I searched for my place in this world, and I found it here. This pebbled ice is where I battle now, and at only 12, I am already a 5-year veteran of this sport. I have my sights set on the Olympics. I will push hard to get there. The only size that matters in this sport is the size of your dreams.
That has to be the most Canadian thing I've ever seen.
Well, maybe if he was also eating a poutine.
Whoa. And drinking maple syrup.
And he's also a curler.
Guys, you know I've never actually been curling before.
And you call yourself a Canadian?
I'm sorry.
There's more than 1,000 curling facilities in Canada. Be a good Canadian and find one near you today.
Before there was ice, there was our hallway at home. I was always the shy, quiet kid who loved math. But when I saw math come alive in the geometry of the game, I found my passion and my voice. It's a game of precision, a game of inches. It's the equation that now defines who I am.
We are back at the George Preston Recreation Center in the township of Langley, BC. Draw 2 action at the 2020 New Holland Canadian Junior Men's and Women's Curling Championships. I'm Al Cameron from Curling Canada, joined by longtime Curling Canada coaching mentor Bill Sherhart for this game between Ontario and British Columbia. And we went into the 5th end break with Ontario stealing a big point And Bill, you know the routine. I'd like to ask you, if you're the coach of both these teams, what would you have told these teams at the fifth end break? And let's start with Ontario and Coach John Sawchuk.
Well, they're going to play it, I think, a little bit closer to, well, they have been playing close to the vest, but they've got the lead. They're up by 2. They have limited control. They don't have definite control. There's a lot of curling still to come, so they're going to be very careful. They're going to try to play the ends in the house as much as they possibly can. On the BC time, is it time to let the dogs out? No, I'm not so sure about that, but I would think Brian would say, okay, we got to start to use the outside of the sheet as much as possible. Let's get play. Let's leave a lot of scoring opportunities for us. So it's still a close game. I mean, 2 points. I mean, it's a 5-rock free guard zone situation. But I think you're going to see BC. They can't wait too much longer. You run out of racetrack really quickly.
That is true. While we have a moment as we get this sixth end underway, I want to tell you about the great New Holland Hay Tools giveaway. And
yes,
well, it's a different contest this year, Bill.
Oh, is it?
It's they're giving away a whole bunch of machinery that looks awfully impressive. There's 5 grand prizes, and the draw will be made on March 2nd. But $400,000 worth of haymaking equipment and prizes that will be given away, and you can get your chance to win by going online to newhollandgiveaway.com. That's newhollandgiveaway.com, and you can read all about the great New Holland Hay Tools giveaway. We have a great sponsor in New Holland. Really pleased to see them back with the New Holland Canadian Juniors and supporting junior curling in Canada.
So no keys this year?
No keys.
That was exciting.
That was
I loved
exciting
that.
last year,
I loved
but
that.
great promotion this year as well. And I would... The amount of machinery, $400,000 of machinery, that I'll tell you what, some of this stuff would have been great the last week here in Langley with the snow, to remove that snow. It was quite a snowfall here, but of course the folks in St. John's are laughing at us right now.
I was just going to say,
you don't know
from
from snowfall.
John's.
Yeah.
Right, yes. Yes, the Newfoundland Labrador teams were glad to get out of town.
Ironically, the teams that had the most trouble getting here were from relatively close. Saskatchewan didn't get in until 3 in the morning on Friday.
I waited up till 3 o'clock to welcome them. Well, I thought, it's no fun to come to a hotel at 3 in the morning and nobody's there to say hi, and so I stayed up.
Team player, Bill. Team player. So Ontario with 2 in the rings, and Hayato Sato is calling for the hit for Joshua Mickey. Somehow they'd like to bring that corner guard into play, but they'll need a roll. Didn't underthrow this, Bill.
They're still not comfortable with line and weight with those open takeouts. I'm not exactly sure why. Yeah, I was just going to say, watch what the skipper does with this next shot. He knows that's the dangerous rock, and so we're going to play a peel.
So we'll give you a roundup of the 5 games that are on the ice here in the arena portion of the George Preston Recreation Center. Men's game between Quebec, that's Greg Cheel, representing the Lennoxville and Valleyville curling clubs. They're taking on Northern Ontario, Jacob Horgan, curling out of Sudbury, and it's a 2-2 game going into the 6th end. Northern Ontario with the hammer. Women's game on sheet B, it is Alberta. Abby Marks with a 6-2 lead on the Saskatchewan team, skipped by Ashley Teveno from the Sutherland Club in Saskatoon. The Marks team out of that great Saville program in Edmonton, the University of Alberta program run by Rob Krebs. 6-2 for Alberta thanks to a big 3 in the 5th end. On sheet C, it is Manitoba's Mackenzie Zacharias from the Altona Curling Club, and she has taken a 7-2 lead now on Prince Edward Island's Lauren Ferguson from Cornwall. 2 in the first end, a steal of 2 in the third, and a steal of 3 more in the fourth.
Close, whoa.
PEI getting onto the scoreboard with 2 in the fifth.
Close, close, yeah.
And in the other game here,
Whoa,
we've got Newfoundland Labrador in men's play.
right off. Clean,
Newfoundland
clean.
Labrador with Daniel Bruce from the
right off,
Remax
right off.
Center in St. John's, up 2-1 now on the BC number 2 team. Skipped by Johnson Tao
that
from the
down?
Richmond Curling Club. It is 2-1 BC 2 with the hammer in the 6th end.
After 2 blank ends.
And the scores over in the curling club. We've got the Northwest Territories taking on Ontario in women's play. Ontario's Sierra Sutherland from the Rideau Club in Ottawa taking on Tiana Bain and the Northwest Territories team from the Nuvik. And it is Ontario with a 5-4 lead. They were down 4-2 at one point, but Ontario coming back with 3 in the 5th end to take a 5-4 lead into the 6th end.
Line's good.
And in the other game over at the curling rink,
Yep.
we've got Manitoba, the Manitoba number 1 team. And that is skipped by Brett Walter from the Assiniboine Club in Winnipeg. And they have taken a 5-3 lead on Graham Weagle's Nova Scotia team from the Chester Club. And it is 5-3 for Manitoba. And Manitoba does have the hammer playing the 6th end in that game.
Now we saw BC try to generate some offense by drawing to an Ontario rock that was behind the tee line, and it overcurled just a little bit. That's that red rock. And it's just been removed, and now it rolls towards the button with Ontario line 2 and up 2.
We should tell everybody, if you're looking for scores from the 2020 New Holland Canadian Juniors, curling.ca/scoreboard. Curling.ca/scoreboard. You'll get all the scores from the township of Langley. So, double takeout, nose hit, probably produced the double for Matthew McCready.
Clean. Yep. Whoa. Clean. Yep. Clean.
Yep.
Clean. Yep.
Yep.
Real hard on the 6th. Bit.
Now, Al, it's interesting when takeouts are being played, teams have to, and now we're back to the communication issue again. Is the person in the house going to call the line? Is the shooter going to call the line? And it was interesting in that particular shot, it was stereo. They both called the line. That can be confusing after a while. So that's part of communication. Every shot's a team shot. So far, this is exactly the way Ontario wants to play this end. I mentioned at the start of the end, that they want to play the end completely in the house, and that's exactly what's happening. Keep it simple. They got the lead.
Not exactly with authority there, though.
No.
I'm floating those for sure.
Did you hear what he said?
Yeah, he floated it. No. Al, when they say they floated it, that means it's a release issue. So the hand came off the handle. Perhaps instead of being clean right behind the handle, the hand moved a little bit towards the outside, and that can, well, as they say, float the rock. It's all about release. The rock doesn't know who you are. It only knows what you've done to it.
So Hayato Sato will get the chance to throw the draw. And again, I think, this is not a bad thing for him. He gets a chance to get that draw weight, because chances are he'll need it later in the game.
Got to be careful about that racetrack thing, though.
It's going to curl a lot to the wing.
All you! Curling really good! Hard line now! Yep! Yep! Hard!
Wait only!
Really hard!
That's got to go, I think, Bill.
Hard! Gotta go!
Yeah, because Purdy's going to go around that for sure.
I think they were fooled a little bit by that path. Jeez.
Did you hear that? Oh, man.
I've been there, Bill. I've been there.
Well, there's there's what's missing here, I think, with the BC
15?
team.
I
They're starting.
got a 16-4, which
I'm
is
seeing
it's the same time
cracks
you guys
in
have been throwing all those
trust.
keys on
You
that.
have to trust
Oh, you
your
think it's a little
skills.
slower there? He gave a
You're not going to be any
I got
more
him same
skillful
hog.
or any less skillful, but the level of
4-10.
trust that you have can change, and you've got to go back to trusting your skills. I don't like the word confidence. I know it exists, but I'm much more concerned about trusting the skills, and that's just not happening with BC right now. And you can understand why. I mean, it's easy for us to sit up here. We're not playing for a Canadian championship.
With all your friends and family in the rink watching, too.
That's it. But if I was calling
Mine's
a
okay.
timeout with Team
Mine's
BC, I would. It would be very simple. Guys, trust your skills. It's what got you here. It will keep you here.
And now this has got to hit a bus to stay in the rings. McCready ready to jump all over it and take it through. So the opportunity is given right back. And now it does give a chance for the blank. Or Sato and Team BC, and they'll try again in the 7th end.
How's it going?
Never taking his broom off the ice.
Yeah, that would be nice. Do you want me to stand at the hog line?
Lincoln.
Go talk to coach if you need to. I don't know.
Now it's interesting, the meeting yesterday with the officials, when they're in the arena, and I'm going to put a personal spin on this, the coaches can talk to the teams between the ends. They have to stay behind the scoreboard, but you can talk to your team between each ends, and I love that. I would give up timeouts to be able to talk to my team between every end.
Well, let's talk about that. That's one of the significant differences between Curling Canada's rulebook and the World Curling Federation.
Oh, but yeah, when I go to the World Championships, with the seniors, I just got a great seat.
That is a rule that the World Curling Federation coaches cannot speak to the players unless it's a timeout and at the 5th end break, and that's it.
Well, but I'm a little facetious about that. It means that it puts extra pressure on me to make sure that I have empowered my team to make the right decisions, and so I'm okay with that. I know it's a bit of a debate among coaches whether we should be able to actually call a shot. The decision-making process, I think, is part of our skill set. There's people who think the opposite to that coaches should be as involved as much as possible. But we can't call all the shots.
Can't call all the shots, but I do like the concept of coaches being allowed to, coach.
Oh yeah, I get that. I understand that. I really do. Yeah. It's not digital; it's analog. It's not an either or.
Reminder: we will be back on the air tonight. Tonight at 7:30 p.m. Pacific, 10:30 p.m. Eastern. Draw 3 Saturday night action at the 2020 New Holland Canadian Juniors, a women's game. With Northern Ontario's Kira Brunton taking on the Nova Scotia women's team. Skipped, of course, by Taylor Stevens from Halifax and Kira Brunton's team from Sudbury. Kira, of course, the 2018 under-18 national champion skip from Sudbury. And the opening ceremonies of the 2020 New Holland Canadian Juniors will be at 6:30 p.m. Pacific. They will be streamed live on the Curling Canada Facebook page, facebook.com/Curling Canada. You can watch those opening ceremonies at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Curling Canada's Facebook page, facebook.com/Curling Canada.
BC is going to try to put up some sort of a guard. Looks like they're going to try to make something happen here. They're ignoring that Ontario rock that's kind of in the back corner of the forefoot, so it's a pretty clear indication that I think they're letting the dogs out. And again, we see Ontario wanting wanting to play the ends in the house as much as possible, so they're going to defend by putting rocks in play and in scoring positions. They do not want to mess around with rocks in the free guard zone as much as they can avoid that. So again, that red rock, that's a corner guard. There's a reason that BC put it there. And Skip Purdy's going to try to remove that ASAP. So we're attempting a double takeout here, very quiet double takeout.
I'll have to see if they can roll the I think that's going to be right on the nose, but...
you know, I thought they might have drawn up to that and
I was
tapped
wondering
it
about
a little bit, because if they tap it a little bit, then they get the split behind the
Nice
rock,
pocket.
and it makes it almost impossible to get it out. So I think they missed kind of an opportunity there. Counterclockwise takeout. On the beak. Line 3. So BC definitely wants to hit and roll here. So we're going to have a counterclockwise takeout and try to roll behind those two corner guards, and with a little bit of backing with that rock at the back 12 foot. So the 4-to-4 shot is a hit and roll, sort of towards the edge of the 8 foot. They're going to get a roll of some sort here.
Almost.
Yeah, almost. Could have brushed it a little bit more.
Jam is in play here, so Ontario is going to have to be careful with this.
BC's got play to the side of the sheet. That's what they want. They've got last rock, and so you club colors at home, when you got last rock, that's what you want to do. Get play to the side of the sheet.
No. No.
Josh Lund, by the way, a computer science student at the University of Toronto.
Hard.
Matt will roll off the rings, and again, just opportunities slip away.
Yes, and there's only one thing better than a corner guard, and that's a corner guard with backing, and so this is a key shot.
Yeah, I'm no expert, but I agree with you.
Thanks, Al. Not all shots are created exactly equal. Some are bigger than others. This is one of those.
Yep.
A little early if you can. Where? Okay, are we bumping? Clean.
Yes, line.
Yep.
It's got a chance. They
Yep.
got to hold the line. If they can get it, it's going to be a
Hard.
pistol, I think, Bill.
Clean. Yep. Yep.
I just had a ton of weight.
Yeah, a little heavy. But throwing that with 8 to 10 feet less weight, and you bury it, and
Yep, they were. You heard it. They were right. It was just too heavy again. I'm really surprised that at this stage of the game they're still struggling with the weight.
draw one nerves, maybe. Just running down these athletes on the Ontario team. Owen Purdy, 20 years old, going to Queen's University. Josh Lund, as mentioned, at the U of T, 19 years old. Second, Nathan Steele, 18 years old, studying police studies at Georgian College. And the lead, Colin Schnurr, an engineering student at Queen's.
Really good, Josh. Really good.
And that's a great shot by Josh Lund.
Chap and Lai coming here, maybe.
Okay.
The BCT, meanwhile, Skip Hayato Sato, 19 years old, business student at Douglas College. Former gold medalist, by the way. He won gold for BC at the Canada Winter Games last spring in red there. Matthew McCready, looks as an ice tech at the Royal City Club, 20 years old. Joshua Mickey. The second is 18 years old, goes to Douglas College, a member of Hayato Sato's gold medal team at the Canada Winter Games in Red Deer. And Jacob Ungbach, the lead, 20 years old, and the assistant ice tech at the Royal City Club.
Yep.
And they've opted to freeze here, Al. That's a good call.
Clean. Yep.
It's close.
Yep. Right to it.
Just what the doctor ordered.
That is very nice. Just
Tucked
you
it
can
a
see
bit.
a little bit of frustration on his face, but that's not bad at all. I mean, take 18 inches off that, then it's perfect, but it's still not going to be an easy shot for Ontario.
And they've got to try to up the difficulty for Ontario shots. They just have
Never
to.
tried a fancy roll
That was a really
here.
good call. They could have played that chap and lie.
I like straight. Let's throw firm. Yeah. Straight rip. Yeah.
Straight rip. Can you translate that into English, Bill?
Throw it as hard as you can, make all the
Try
rocks
to
go away.
just pick. Straight pick it.
That's not bad.
Clockwise rotation. I think he's a little tight.
Hard!
Is it going to jam? Oh, it is.
And that's why they played the freeze.
Yep.
But now, BC's got to be really, really careful because they're going to have to play a very exacting shot because they want to maneuver that yellow rock without disturbing the red rock. So let's listen to the call here.
Here with board?
Yeah.
Okay.
So board weight. Board weight is when a rock would
board?
go to the bumpers
Gotta
and
get
just
the rope
bounce
to
a
the
little bit.
outside,
So it's board weight, or as they say in Scotland,
barrier weight.
Barrier weight.
So that we don't leave a double. We probably got to be at least edge
Please
on edge
excuse
with the
my
yellow.
horrific Scottish accent,
No,
too.
it sounded good to me. So board weight shot here, counterclockwise. Let's listen to the call here all the way down the sheet.
Yep.
Clean.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yes! Really hard!
Joshua Mickey working hard to keep that rock as straight as possible. They don't want this to overcurl. They don't want to lose that second shot. And they will.
Now, right out of his hand, the brushers indicated the weight was about right. It was board weight. And then it was up to the person in the house, in this case, Matthew, to decide if it's a little bit tight, a little bit wide. And of course, you're always going to hear Matt and let you know it was a little tight.
We'll go for the roll.
You heard him say they're going to play for the roll here and force British Columbia to draw for a single point.
Yeah! Close! Whoa! 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 Close! Close! Close!
Gotta hold that shooter, and it rolls it off.
Still a bit off
So
there.
they're going to play the,
Felt
see
good
if
on
they
the
can
release,
get that
though.
blank.
That's the important part.
They do have to negotiate their own rock, though, so it's not wide open. And you can see Matt checking that.
Yeah. Should curl up here, hit.
Clockwise rotation, and it has to roll all the way across the rings out to put up the blank end.
I'd say they could see about 3/4 of it from the hack. That was Sato. There's a good angle of it. I'd say almost full rock from the hack.
Clean.
Yeah, what's a rock?
John.
That's got a curl, though, I think.
Josh, for your face.
Seems okay.
Get it.
Ayato Sato was like clean, and Matthew McCready was crossing his fingers. But it did, and it is a blank. And BC will have last rock advantage in, I suspect, what will be a very crucial 8th end. Hammer in the 8th end is a good thing, but being 2 down with hammer in the 8th end makes it absolutely crucial that you get that deuce.
Well, the good thing is if you're Team BC with 3 ends to go, you're going to have hammer in 2 of those 3 ends. So, but they've got to make sure that those ends are productive.
Yeah, 2 or more in 2 of those ends. At least one of those ends, you're in okay shape. But the deuce is necessary, minimum 2.
Take 2, force 1, take 2. That would be the plan.
Well, and we've seen with the 5 rock rule, we've already seen it today. The Manitoba 2 team, skipped by Jacques Gauthier, coming back from a 6-0 deficit after 3 ends to win in extra ends and having hammer in the extra ends. So they came all the way back plus.
Ontario sticking to their plan. Play the ends in the house.
Corner guard called.
Team meeting with Team Ontario. I'd love to hear what they're saying.
They've done that a couple times this game, just to kind of make sure they're all on the same page with the strategy.
Now we'll see if BC really wants to use the 5 rock rule. So we got a corner guard here on the left side of the sheet as we look at it. So it's going to be very interesting to see where they put their next rock. What a wonderful facility here at the George Preston Arena. Is that, do I have the name right
George
there?
Preston Recreation Center.
Recreation Center.
Home, by the way, to the BC Hockey League's Langley Rivermen. Really appreciate the Rivermen vacating their home for almost 2 weeks to allow us to stage the New Holland Canadian Juniors.
All right, now let's see where BC puts this next rock. See, the only problem with this is they're not using the 5 rock rule now.
Yep.
I thought they might put another rock up in the free guard zone. And I wanted to see where they were going to put it, because most of the time now the elite teams are putting the 2 guards on the same side. And there's a reason for that.
Lots of jam possibilities as a rule, and
well,
double
no,
guards.
No, what's okay.
No, they're playing behind the corner guard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they called behind.
Okay, I missed that.
That's pretty tasty.
Well, it's a shot that was called, and it's a shot that was made, but I just think it might have been a little bit early for that. We'll see what Team Ontario does.
They
here.
thought about removing their own guard, which they can do.
Which they can do. It's just opposition rocks you can't remove.
But they are going to go aggressively for the steal here. I think I like the peel.
I like the peel. Well, they're kind of abandoning their plan in my view. They wanted to play the ends in the house. And, well, they're playing the ends in the house, but they're playing around guards. And so Team BC can't be that upset with this call. Well, now they're not going in the house. They're going to put up another. Oh,
yeah, that was the call. They called the high guard.
They?
Yep.
Oh, okay. I thought they were just trying to maybe get closer to the house.
High guard.
Pay attention, Bill.
I'm looking at Bill, and he's got a look of consternation on his face, I'll be honest.
Well, those are the rocks you want to go around, I would suspect. Not quite understanding this. There's a lot of things I don't understand. Let's put this on the list.
They're trying to get the roll over to protect their corner guard, but
well, that helps.
That's evidently it was the right call, Bill.
I guess so. That's why we're up here.
That said, and you can count on it, Ontario's going to try and draw one in behind those double guards.
Ontario's tickling the dragon's tail.
Yeah, they can clear guards now if they want to, but they're going hard for the steal. And that's their game plan, so.
But it wasn't their game plan. They've I won't say they abandoned.
Well, that might have been their conversation at the hog line here too. Let's go hard for a steal this end, and maybe taking advantage of a BC team that clearly is not playing with a ton of confidence right now either.
Oh, that's true.
Put some pressure on them in this 8th end, and maybe they get the steal. That will over curl a little bit. I think it's available on the. I'm not going to. Yes, I am. The outturn side for a right-hander, the counterclockwise rotation, and that is the call that they will make.
See, Al and I have had this discussion for the last couple of years about this. I haven't used the term intern outturn forever. It's always clockwise, counterclockwise.
I try to use both just to.
You're very good at that. Yes. I'm not good enough to use both. I get confused.
This is the right-hander's outturn, though, in the counterclockwise rotation to keep Bill happy. And that rock is available. They want to let it curl a little and see if they can get the little roll behind those center guards. Now they're going to spill it to the outside. Still a good shot, though.
It was a
BC
good
sitting
shot.
2.
It was a good shot.
Now does Ontario... I was going to say, if they went for the draw behind center guards, then we know they're going all in, but I think this is the call.
I might be calling timeout.
Whoa. Whoa. Close. Close. Whoa. Whoa. Close. Close. Whoa. Yes. Yes. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Pretty nice shot, Al.
Yeah, very nice throw. Should be accessible from the clockwise rotation, right-hander's intern side. That's a very long description, but...
Well, the guards are
pushing it into the
long.
open.
There's lots of room for rock to curl.
Back 12. Same weight I've been throwing.
You can probably make it back line.
Okay, just line.
I love to hear Matt.
So same weight that I threw last time, hey?
Well, there it is, the same weight that I threw last time. The concept of muscle memory. You know it, but executing it is not an easy thing.
When you're trying to decide from an array of shots, if you can play the same shot back to back, it just goes to the top of the list.
I think that's tight there, Bill. I think it's going to...
Gotta go! Yep!
Well,
weight was pretty close, though.
No. Whoa.
It's not bad.
Well, you've got corner guards, that's for sure.
Yeah.
You may not get to use them, but they're there.
You know, going back to that concept of having weight control, nobody's born with draw weight in their back pocket. The only thing that gets it there is throwing a million practice rocks and knowing how your body...
One of my favorite questions to curlers is, if you had to just add 6 feet, or if you had to subtract 6 feet from a previous shot, tell me how you would do it. And I don't care what your answer is. I just care you have one.
Right. Yeah.
Line's good. Close. You don't have to.
So Ontario now playing the draw, trying to sit 2.
That block is pretty good. It's going to squirt out.
Just a little heavy and...
Well, you know, Al, that team meeting that we noticed, I think it seems pretty evident now that they've decided that the best defense is an offense.
Yep. And I think, again, that was situational. I think they thought the BC was vulnerable, and not quite in control of draw weight. And that said, BC does have a chance here. They got a pocket behind the tee line.
Absolutely. And they just need 2.
Where?
Yeah.
They don't need a miracle. They just need 2.
T-line,
But you got to make them.
Wait
Line's
only.
perfect! Just T-line!
Wait only. Yep.
Woo!
Wait only. Yep. Hard then. Just T, guys.
Hard, guys!
Hard.
Hard! Hard!
Shot?
Hard! Go! 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 Go!
Well, no, that is third shot, I think. Ontario still laying 2.
It was not only third shot, but it again
Yo,
it
guys,
over curled, and I'm always a little concerned about this over curl thing, like where you narrow.
We're 2 right now, right?
It wasn't just a decision the Rock made.
Yeah, we're 2.
If we just go right there.
I mean, this is probably the shot, eh? No?
He does that, gets rid of 2.
No, we're
rolls
2.
over here. He's 2, 3, 4. That's a scary spot. You know what I mean?
No, I know.
No.
I don't hate that.
If we're open, think about it. He does that, rolls over, gets rid of those 2. He's 2, 3, 4, and then. I don't hate corner.
I don't hate corner freeze.
Make
I
him
like
tap.
this.
We're in a good spot to force. I think we should do that. Yeah, even if we're there, then he's probably still.
Then he's
playing a tap on
tapping and
that.
he'll be open. I might have something to come back. Yeah, I like that. Let's do that. I
Oh.
like this ice.
Oh.
Okay, yeah.
What's my tolerance here? Light? I would count this, right? It's my what I wanted. Okay. Let's go there.
Okay, you notice he said, "What's the tolerance? The execution tolerance." Okay, well, the execution tolerance is light. So if we don't make the shot, let's stay inside the
freeze that.
execution tolerance. But one of my favorite phrases, and I'm sure people who perhaps don't, into the curling all that much, is, what do they mean? I don't
you like?
hate
Still like
this
the
shot.
420?
I'm not in love with it.
I'm not in love with
Like
it.
this
Yeah,
ice?
but it's okay. I can live with it. I don't hate it.
But that's a bit of terminology,
I wanna say a touch
tolerance,
less
that
for
has
me.
kind of come into the
Like less,
high-performance curling lexicon over the last 4 or 5 years. And like you say, it's explaining, well, even if I don't make the shot, how can I generate something positive out of it?
And again, we're back to the communication. Does everybody know what the tolerance is? The person in the house, the shooter, the brushers, and so often when they miss a shot like that, and I talk to them after, and I said, did you have that conversation? No. Well,
No bounce here, boys. No bounce.
Corner freeze was the call. Taking Bill's advice from earlier in the game. That looks a little warm. I think it's going to get past.
Yes!
okay, folks. Oh, let's have a look here. Can you make the triple?
I think you gotta throw at least hack.
I think hack.
No
And I'm
triple.
probably trying to hit.
Trying to go there, like that, yeah. But this is not gonna move very far, this is gonna go there.
His nose.
Nose, he could probably do the same thing. I don't mind throwing back line. Like, back line to guarantee the roll is pretty good. But then I don't know how
I don't
far
know
this
if the
goes.
roll or the getting this out of the forfeit is more important though.
I think this is more important.
I think you got to get 2 of those out of there anyways.
Probably got to play it.
Like, nose isn't the worst. If anything.
Yeah.
Okay, the skipper said the most important thing, we got to get 2 out of the forfeit.
I think that was me that said
I think
that.
if
Bill.
we
Oh,
can
you
try
said
to
that.
get to the inside of the yellow with hack.
Wow.
And then try to,
A whole
like,
new
corner freeze the
respect
other
for you,
yellow.
Well.
Like it- yeah, it'd probably be nice. Do you like a touch less ice or no? Touch less. Even less. Yeah.
So to the nose, if not even crossing the face a little bit, Bill, would be a great result here.
Oh, yeah.
Looks a little heavy to me.
Josh.
Josh gotta hit early. Yeah, go, keep going.
Trying
keep
to
going,
make a
keep going,
curl
keep
with
going.
that sweeping. Yeah, I think that was just heavy.
It's hard. So far, I've been really good. And Al knows what I'm about to say. I don't agree with the way they're trying to encourage the curl.
Well, that's the debate, whether this fabric does have that kind of effect. And I'd say there's only a handful of sweepers on the planet that can actually have that kind of effect on stones with that.
Even if we splash off and go here.
So I'll just,
You think?
it's not comment, just keep it to myself.
Okay, I guess
Ben
that
Hebert, Colton Flash, Breck
See that?
Lance,
Just that
Jeff
nose.
Walker,
Hair
those
inside
two
is-
Scottish kids, Bobby
here,
Ramley
around
and
the
Grant
line.
Hardy, I think. But other than that, it's a big ask. To
Well, I'll just say this. Earlier in
Go
the
here, it's a
broadcast,
triple
we
for two,
said
right?
that the
Yeah, so we want to be closer.
Oxford not on 420D just polishes the ice.
down,
It
this
does
isn't-
no longer
Yeah.
lay tracks. It does not scratch the ice. So if you're trying to make the rock curl by brushing like that, I would say, why are you doing that? Because actually, in essence, you're polishing the ice. You're actually not enhancing the curl or encouraging the
Yeah.
curl. You're
Right on
doing
the line.
exactly
Right
the
on the line.
opposite in my book. And there's another way
What did
to
I throw
do
the
it,
last one there, Bruce?
but
20?
well,
You work with the hairless? Okay.
let's
course,
move on.
Bill's been around long enough to know that there's enough people who would debate him and have a very lively debate about that topic, too.
We'll save that for another broadcast.
But Ontario now in golden shape here for a steal.
Less.
Make it very, very tough for BC to score.
This may work for Ontario, but if Gib Sato had made that shot, it could have backfired on Ontario. Remember, all that BC needs is 2 here on this end. Now they're going to be hard pressed to get anything.
Hard! Freeze it! Freeze it! Freeze it! Hard! Right on top.
That's all right. That's all right. That's not bad.
Well,
It's nothing from
I don't know if that's all right.
yeah, I mean, it's still, you're going to have to, I think I'm saying a lot of things at once, but it's possible. It'd take a great shot to score 2, but
I'm just wondering, we probably just played this
I
for
think it's
one.
there.
you don't have to move that
Yeah, with 2 rounds to go.
Yellowstone that's sitting at 7:30. You don't have to move it
Yeah,
much,
either
an
way,
inch or
we're probably
2.
going aggressive in 9, so we probably have to play this.
Yeah, so hack or you want to throw drag draw?
They got to score in this end, for
When
sure.
guards are
probably
missed,
going
whether it's a guard in the free guard zone or if it's a guard in the house, such as in
So
this
where was that
situation,
line?
most guards are missed because they curl too much.
Board.
You should have to brush guards into position. That's how you throw guards.
Right there. Like back 8.
Yeah, just heavy draw.
Okay, drag draw.
So
Okay,
the key will be to score here. They need to score in this even end and make
Yeah, I
sure
don't
that
think I
they
can get
hold
inside
Ontario to
enough to
1. Take your
push,
chances in the
so.
10th end.
Do you like less ice or no? Just playing back 8.
Two would be a bonus here.
Yep.
Hard then.
Yes! Hard! Clean. Yes, yes! Hard! Hard! Gotta go! Yes, 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 yes!
Did that touch a little bit, I thought.
Yeah. Well,
Here, we'll get a replay here just to see if it did touch one of those stones. That Yellowstone, did it just rub? It did rub. Wow. What a great sweep by that BC front end of Joshua Mickey and Jacob Umbach. They saved that point for BC for Hayato Sato. So it is a point, and it will be a 3-2 lead for Ontario going to the 9th end.
And they threw the right weight. They said back 8 foot. It was back 8 foot. Okay.
I'm not sure the deuce was there, Bill, based
No,
on
I don't
that.
think. No, it
Yeah.
wasn't. It wasn't there.
So we'll go to the ninth end. Ontario with the hammer. BC, of course, will be trying to hold Ontario to a single point. Ontario, I think, would be very happy with the blank.
What's the most important end in a game of curling?
They're all important, Bill, but
yeah,
the ninth end is pretty crucial.
The penultimate end is the end you want to control. And you can control it by last rock, or you can control it by scoreboard. Or in this case, both.
Guard is made. Speaking of the scoreboard, let's take a run through the other games here at the George Preston Recreation Center. Men's game over on sheet A, Northern Ontario's Tanner Horgan taking on Quebec's Greg Cheel, and it is a 5-4 lead for Northern Ontario, who has the hammer playing the ninth end. In women's play, the Saskatchewan team, skipped by Ashley Tevenot from Saskatoon, has mounted a big comeback on Abby Marks' team from Edmonton, the Alberta team. Now 7-6 for Saskatchewan. 3 in the sixth end and a stolen deuce in the seventh, and it's a 7-6 lead for Saskatchewan over Abby Marks, half of the defending Canadian Junior Women's champions from last year. We have a final on sheet C. The women's game, Mackenzie Zacharias and her Altona, Manitoba team winning 10-4 over Prince Edward Island, the Lauren Ferguson team from Cornwall. And it is a 4-4 tie between BC number 2, skipped by the Johnson Tao from Richmond. 4-4 tie with the Daniel Bruce team from St. John's, Newfoundland. And it is BC number 2 with the hammer. And over at the Langley Curling Center, 2 games over there as well. Men's play, Manitoba number 1 with a 7-4 lead over Nova Scotia's Graham Weagle, that Brett Walter team from the Assiniboine Club in Winnipeg, 7-4, and has the hammer going into playing the eighth end. And in the women's game over there, it is now a 6-4 lead for Ontario. Sierra Sutherland from Ottawa with a 6-4 lead, a big 3 in the fifth end, and a stolen 1 in the sixth against Tiana Bain and her team from Inuvik, playing the eighth end, the Territories with the hammer.
I did a clinic in Inuvik, and it's above the Arctic Circle, as I recall. Right, yeah, that's where they sent me, above the Arctic Circle.
But you came back.
Yeah, but
the coach came back.
I think
the very
they
next
hoped
day.
I'd get lost or something.
Ninth end. BC sitting shot stone. Ontario back 4, and I'd say that's an advantage for BC at this stage. They've got the 2 center guards up, so
not only are there 2 center guards, but they're overlapped.
Overlapped.
And that can make a huge difference. Just can't run those back.
It's looking tasty, Bill.
It's a pretty nice shot.
Now it's time for Ontario to start cleaning house. They got to make those guards go away.
This rock will have flames from it.
So they do make the peel, and now BC, I suspect, will try and replace one of those center guards.
We do a drill called line dancing where we try to put as many rocks on the center line as possible. And it's amazing how many ends, if you get down to Skip's rocks and you count how many rocks are touching the center line. It's a great drill. Line dancing.
Uh-oh.
Now, they could be close enough for a drag effect shot.
I was just about to say that. If you hit that on the high side, I mean, there's a physics explanation for the drag effect, but it just does neat things to a curling stone. We can say that, and we'll see if it happens here.
Yeah, it only works with granite for some reason. So you can make that rock that's fully in the 12-foot, you can make it come straight back.
Even though the angle, if you'd looked at it, would have made it go on a sideways angle. But we'll see the replay here, and you'll see what we mean. It hit sideways and.
They just didn't hit enough of it, but you saw how it came straight back.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Follow the drag effect.
They weren't lined up that way, but.
And the rocks don't have to be touching. They can be just close. Now, earlier in this game, there was a comment about active rocks.
Where?
And that's all about striking band. It's the forgotten aspect of curling rocks. You always check the striking band.
Bit of room. Okay, line's okay.
For those wondering, these are Curling Canada stones. They're K's stones, I believe. They were last used in Fredericton last season at the. I believe they were being used in the mixed doubles, but it could have been at the university and college championships. But they were used in Fredericton last spring.
So we see BC trying to guard those two rocks they have in the 4-foot, and they're guarding it with their life.
You like it? Or less, we can do hack. Okay.
Joshua Lund being asked to play a hack weight hit at one, if not two of those stones, the BC stones that are in the 4-foot. Certainly they'd like to make at least one go away, though.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Close, yes! Whoa, whoa! Close, yep! Yes! Yes! Whoa, whoa!
Oh, great sweeping, great call. Is it jamming? It will jam a little, but key element is that it's been moved off the center line.
But Ontario's second, third, that's the key.
And now, big decision here. Go hard for the steal or go for the force?
Yeah?
I always think they have to go for the steal.
Probably leaving a thick double. Probably coming here.
I think so. As long as we're full 8
Full
foot.
8.
Not a bad idea to maybe talk this over.
Neither team in any kind of time trouble, by the way. McCready will go behind the center guard.
Where? Come off big.
Back one! Back one!
Okay, no.
Back one!
Clean. Yep. Yep.
Yes!
Are we bumping?
Playing the freeze, I think,
Hard
to the
if we're
black one.
bumping,
Now
yeah.
that wasn't the call, but that's trouble.
That was not the call at all. No.
And that's a big. Looks like Ontario now is sitting second shot, so that's a big element. If that BC stone had stopped just a little further, they would have been 1-2. But there's a big difference between 1-2 and 1-3. And now Ontario has a chance. Open hit to sit 2.
Okay, control.
Yeah, that rock had to be in front of the tee line. Even if it wasn't fully covered, it had to be in front of the tee line.
Whoa, close. Yep. Yes. Yes. Hard call. Hard. Hard.
They want this to hang around. That might overcurl, though.
Hard. Big roll, big roll, big roll. That's it.
Oh, and
Sorry, Josh. It's all right.
a miss right back. Now BC does have a chance to hit and stick for two, or will they draw?
Well, I'll tell you now. I don't know.
And this might be where
Just try not to set up a double for them to lie.
call a timeout, potentially to discuss this. They do have a second timeout available to them.
Control.
Yep, what turn? In turn. If you want to go for the roll, I should call it. Like this or that.
If we dead jam it, are they shot?
They dead jam, I think we're still going to be...
We're still shot over them even if we dead
It's going to
note
be
it,
close.
right? We're probably playing for the dead nose then.
Yeah, nose to maybe a sliver high.
Well, we
Nose,
got
you
it
gotta
still
be
shot
there.
over the one, so
Yeah, you got to play it for nose.
pretty much.
Okay, control.
So the nose hit is called. I mean, I think the key element is that they are first or second shot after this.
Absolutely.
Yeah, both first and
Yeah,
second
they want to
shot.
lie 1-2. Yep.
Well, I was wondering if we dead jam it, are we still going to be shot over it?
I think the answer to that is yes. I'm not
So
sure which
nose,
dead jam they're looking
even a
at.
touch inside is probably not bad. Even if we dead jam it, the back red's still counting, so just control.
Don't think I can make that double and leave the shooter. The angle's not there.
Clean.
Clean.
Whoa.
Yep.
Whoa.
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 Off.
Josh. Hard, Josh. Go, 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 go. That's okay.
No, I
That's
don't
fine.
know.
Oh, I'm not sure about much okay.
BC still shot rock. There's a difference between laying one and laying two here, I
I don't
think.
think Purdy's
Maybe I
going
just
to
take
care
this
that they're
way.
lying shot rock now because
Yeah, let's go this
he
way.
has
I like
plans
this.
to be shot after this shot, obviously.
I think so, eh? Yeah. Same time? Okay. Okay.
I think maybe he feels he
You like
might
this
have to
ice?
play this shot on his second shot. So if that's the case, you might as well play it on your first shot.
Reminder, we will feature tonight's 7:30 p.m. Pacific Time third draw here at the 2020 New Holland Canadian Juniors in the township of Langley. 7:30 p.m. Pacific Time, 10:30 Eastern, and the opening ceremonies for the 2020 Canadian Juniors will be streamed live on Curling Canada's Facebook page, facebook.com/Curling Canada. That will take place at 6:30 Pacific, 9:30 Eastern.
Hard, guys! Gotta be full eight, guys!
You're gonna have to drag this, Bill.
Hard, dig, guys, dig! Hard! Hard!
Got it.
Good. Good scrub, boys. Really good.
Great team shot.
But open and available.
Unless if you think you can maybe come here.
I love
Just don't want
that.
to do this. Like, I don't want to go and just go, right?
Yeah. It's probably not that easy.
Like,
Oh,
even if,
'cause we can't play it this way, right? Like we're risking jamming and rolling out, so.
I think it's the end of the game. I think we
We'll
shoot for
probably draw
here.
here.
And even if you're like full four, like even if you're full four, it's fine.
I get about here for center. Just inside.
Okay.
Well,
You like there?
here we go.
Yeah.
T-line backboard.
Buckle your chin strap, folks.
Probably gotta go right to the backboard. He's got a short run all day. So. What's that? What do you suggest playing then? I'm just not sure, like, ideally I'd like to play hack weight, get 3/4 of the inside of the one that they just threw, but that's pretty tough, so touch less.
Okay, we'll get a hog-to-hog time on this, Al.
Clockwise. Right-hander's in-turn draw. Trying to bury behind that guard for the steal, if possible.
Make sure, guys. Gotta be at least T.
Okay, go then.
But not behind T.
Hard.
Gotta curl. Curl if you can. Hard.
Hard.
Really hard, Josh.
16.
Gotta go, buddy. Go, buddy. Go. Never off.
Wow. That was some okay sweeping.
Did Matt not want them to get off, I guess?
I'm thinking that was an aggressive never get off call from Matt McCready, but mission accomplished. Behind the tee, and a little bit available, I think. It's not an easy shot.
Shooters
Two
here for
options,
two.
though.
We're good. You know what I mean? Shooters there.
I don't think it'll be that one, though.
Matt, could you
What
have
do
been more specific?
No, it won't. We'll get two. Just nose it for two. What do you mean? Yes. No, it's us. I'm positive. Doesn't matter. Yeah. We're going for that. Yeah. Okay. Board. You like this? Okay. Let's do it.
So board weight.
Board. Board. Like this ice? Yeah, I think so. Like
Would
this
love
ice
to
here?
get 2 out of this, Al. But make
I like a
that
bit
red
less,
rock
I
go away. That's job number 1.
That said, I mean,
No, let's do this.
this is always the discussion. Would you rather be tied up with coming home or?
This board.
Well, you should have had that discussion long ago.
Yes. Yeah, now is not the time to have that discussion, but a steal of 1 here for BC would not be a disaster for Ontario.
No, it wouldn't. That's why, that penultimate end, and they controlled it by last rock and score.
This is going to have to, I think it's on the guard, Bill. And there is the steal.
And sometimes the tolerance isn't just weight. Sometimes it's line. And I think in that case, maybe I can be a hair wide possibly. So
Without, that's the classic risk reward there. You make that shot, you get 2, and you're up 3 going without hammer in the 10th end, which is pretty much a golden position. But again, you go back to the positive mindset, and if I'm a coach, I'm saying to these guys, listen, if I told you in your opening game you're going to be tied up with hammer in the 10th end against the home team, you got to be happy.
You're right about that. And now it's interesting because now BC is into, there's two kinds of steals. Okay, there's sort of a regular steal, and then there's the straight steal. And they're into the straight steal. What do they care how many points the Ontario gets? Because they only need 1 to win the game. So it's a different kind of mindset on the steal of this end. You will risk the ranch to steal.
Center guard called and made by lead Jacob Umbach. Ontario get right in there ASAP. I wondered if they'd try the tick, but
You took the words right out of my mouth. Why don't you try the tick? Where's Lisa Weagle here when we need her? Boy, that's great brushing technique. That is just textbook. Back parallel to the ice, feet outside the hip line, chest over the rock. Wow, that's great.
yeah, I've heard Paul Webster at the National Training Center at the Glencoe Club in Calgary, a man you know very well, Bill.
I do.
Having had that same position at one point at the Glencoe Club, but he once described the best sweeping position as the one that when you're sweeping, if suddenly a wizard comes out and poof, your broom is gone, you break your ribs on the curling stone.
You fall
fall
flat in your
straight
face.
down.
Yep, if that's the feeling you don't have, you're not doing it right. Paul's absolutely correct.
I like that he adds the wizard element, though.
Yeah, I like that.
Oof.
This is all about Skip Sato setting up his last shot. He wants a shot, big shot, and make it as difficult as possible for Skip Purdy. This is not complicated, folks.
Another final to report over at the Curling Center. Manitoba #1, Brett Walters' team from the Assiniboine, defeats Owen Purcell from Nova Scotia from the Chester Club, 9-4. 2 in the 8th end prompts the handshakes over at the Curling Center. Manitoba now, or Ontario, thinking that they were trying to protect their single point there. I'm not sure that was the call, though.
Nope.
Door open here for BC to get another stone in there, counting stone, in their pursuit of a steal and a win here in their opening game of the 2020 New Holland Canadian Junior Men's and Women's Curling Championships.
I want to compliment our video crew. What a great job. The screens here at both ends of the George Preston Center are just fabulous. The quality of the picture, it's just the color commentary is a little shaky.
Oh, that's a nice shot right there. Should be open, but still. And not surprising, Ontario's just going to ignore it and get rid of those guards.
Well, they were part of those guards. Just hate to point out.
Just like that. They would have liked that other red guard to get out of play, because it does give a little bit of concern on the counterclockwise rotation. If you're looking at a draw for the win, it takes a turn away potentially.
And I made the comment before about the 5-rock rule. That's why they're putting both guards on the same side, because if you put them on opposite sides, you could be a little bit embarrassed that you don't have a path to the forefoot. And they're your rocks that are there. I don't think we need to be concerned about an extra end here.
I was just thinking that. Although we've both seen enough strange things happen to see a blank in the 10th for an extra end, but.
Yes, we have.
Oh, that's a nice shooting again by Josh Mickey. I think he would have liked it. Whoa. Tripped on the guard there.
Who put that rock there?
That looks close.
And it will be up to the satisfaction of the non-offending team. And as with this great game, there's not going to be a big issue about it. Now, had it been in the forefoot.
I actually think the guard was the call on that one, Bill, and it came in deep, and this gives the chance for Ontario to make a lot of that granite go away.
Yeah, you're right, Al.
I think even if you make contact on the one that Joshua Lund is looking at, you might clear all of them out.
Let him wrap.
I mean,
just does this.
we're not even
these
halfway
three
through
go,
the
but
end.
this is here.
I mean, like,
no, it doesn't. It never does.
I like your idea, Al. I like it a lot.
It's always a first.
You like double? Just peel? You like that? Yeah.
I guess the reason I liked making contact on that top one is those two are staggered a little bit. There's an overlap, and if they make these two that are in the forefoot go away, I think BC just draws in behind the two, the yellow and the red, and it's suddenly reminiscent of that 2004 Briar final.
I would make a play on the front red and just, yeah, I agree. Yeah. That's what he called.
Another guard or get in there right away, Bill?
Well, again, you know, we're only halfway through the end. You can't go in too soon.
Third rocks. Matthew McCready in the hack.
I'd put up another guard. I really would.
Control!
Yeah.
They're playing the hit.
Okay.
Nose is good. 7/8 out of the way is fine.
Whoa, early, clean. Clean, yep. Whoa, clean.
Whoa.
Whoa.
We're on the nose.
Jake a little.
Jake, a little.
Hard roll to the center,
Josh.
Josh.
Roll.
Well, I think now those red rocks go away, and they had guards in the house.
So that's the point.
Yeah.
I mean, it's too soon to go in the house.
Matthew McCready a little disappointed in that outcome. Now Joshua Leon with the chance to make the double takeout.
It's close. Come on, ticket. Good, Josh, real good.
Like that. Nice throw, nice result for Ontario.
Rocks do not have to be in the free guard zone to be guards. And so Skip Sato has to see that yellow rock in the 12-foot as a guard. And it would, I'd be inclined to put up another guard.
Or run it
You're
straight.
playing for your last shot.
Same like the 2 guard that I threw.
Right, yes.
Yep, I like that.
Tight. Where?
One more final to report. Jacob Horgan and his Northern Ontario team records the 6-4 win over Quebec. Red Shield.
Leave it as a center and we're good.
We got to be a little,
That's good right
too. That's probably high.
Yeah, that's okay.
That's okay. I'm not mad about that.
He doesn't hate that.
No. I'm not in love with that.
Yeah, I'm not in love with it.
Not in love.
Not in love with it. Yeah. It's interesting how we say it in negative fashion. You know?
Yep, yes! Yes, Colin. Okay, clean. Good.
Well, guard or get in?
I'd do it again.
Yeah.
I don't think Purdy's going to try to beat you in. But that's the risk you take. You put up a guard, and then the decision goes over to the Ontario skip, and he says, okay, well, I'm going to beat you in.
And kills ours. We're probably drawing it aside.
Well, depending if he rolls out. If he noses and rolls out, then we're going here again. And making him play it again. Or we do this now, and make him put his balls out, and he might go here.
I don't think so.
If he does, he's got to make a double
He'll
peel.
probably have to come here.
You think so?
I think so.
I think we should call a time then.
What?
What? Back eight.
I like the draw around everything.
You like draw around?
I like it.
Okay. Back eight.
Yeah.
You're on
I mean,
edge?
if he tries the run, a little more.
There's nothing wrong with the draw around. as I said, it's a little bit of a risk if you put up the guard because Ontario might ignore it and go around and beat you, and then you kind of look like you got egg all over your face. So you saw the reasoning here. Okay, we're going to force him to make the run back, and if he doesn't, then we can put up our guard where we want it. So, well, we're going to find out. That's why you play the games.
Felt a bit light.
Harderly!
Gotta be at least T, guys.
Where? Yep.
Wait only.
Run! Josh holding. Josh.
Starting to curl.
Keep your brushes down.
Okay, Josh, go.
No, you don't want to go. I think that's heavy. Just. Well, now, who is shot rock? That looks like BC, so mission accomplished.
Right? Is it done?
They don't know. I'm calling it, Bill. I think BC is shot rock.
Yeah, I agree. But we were wrong before, though.
What do you like?
Curling Canada election desk declares it's dead buried. And let's listen into their decision.
Yeah, you want to call time?
Their decision is to call timeout.
Like, what if I throw, like, back 8? I don't know. We'll see. Let's search it. I'm going to have the 8-foot to draw. Yeah. Like,
Do you draw now?
I don't know.
Also, do you know who shot?
It's them.
Is it them?
Yeah, it's them.
The split is not a bad call unless you leave a center. Then he's going to come around.
Like, I like the split out right off
it too. Which way would you want to split? Coming this way?
I think
so. Then if you're heavy, you come back.
I think so, yeah.
I like that.
I like that.
Yeah, I like it.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, I really like that. Yeah. So you know your weight?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's true.
I mean, the other options going there first.
Well, T-line weight,
Like back 8?
I like back 8, back 4. That's kind of what I like, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah, let's do that. How bad is tapping nose? Not great, eh?
Perfect. If you tap,
It's perfect. It's perfect. Okay, let's do that.
Well, you're always going to have that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have the draw, right? Yeah.
Sounds like the split is the call.
I think here, Josh. I think so.
Made a point of asking the Ontario parents, Bill, and they like the draw top 4, but
do they?
it will be a split is the call.
Yeah, let's do that.
Which I don't mind this.
No, I don't hate it.
Yeah, it opens up that 4-foot area and leaves you a couple insurance policies in the rings.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good call. Good call. Yeah. And again, we saw the coach give the options.
A little less,
and,
maybe?
you know, it's always up to the guy that's going to play the shot. What do you feel? What do you like?
Okay, 410. Line's close. 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 Whoa. Yeah. Yes, yes. Roll.
Just like that. Real nice. One more final to report. The Ontario women's team, skipped by Sierra Sutherland from Ottawa, has recorded a 7-5 win over Tiana Bain of the Northwest Territories from Inuvik. Ontario down 3-0 after 2 ends in that game, but came back strong. BC will call a timeout to discuss its options.
You could ever go here too, this way.
Just play the same thing.
Yeah. Do I want to play the run or the
Well, I like
tap or the draw?
I like the draw.
We'll draw where though? Around this one?
Make them play a shot at us.
You only have 2 options. You're either going to... I prefer the draw myself.
But which one?
Around the one that we just, well, that one. Like on the wide
Which
side.
one do you know?
This one you get more of the 4-foot, but it's closer.
Yeah, it's a shorter run back, right?
You like the old chances there?
I see what you guys are saying about that. If you don't make it, he's just, well, I like the draw. You got to make it as tough as you can.
Out-turn draw or in-turn draw? Same draw that you
That's
just
the thing
played.
I don't know. Like, I don't know which path to put it in.
Like, we can never, I think this might be okay. Like, we're here. We just threw it, though.
See, the only good thing about that, well, even if you play the out-turn, you line it up, and he tries to run it, there's a good chance that he might net it back.
So you're liking
he's
this
still
way
shot.
then?
I think
You're
he's
liking
still shot.
out-turn
Is he still shot?
I think so.
No, but I still like.
So you're like out-turn on this one.
I was thinking.
Like right here. Like throw it back 4. Right here.
That's what I was
Okay, let's go there.
Or what's the other option?
This?
You're playing the double?
It's tough.
That's tough.
And he's
There's
been
no-
making
there-
most of his
There's
draws.
no gimme shot for you, so you got to go with
Yeah,
Let's
so
go
we're
back for it.
probably just playing this, right?
Okay, back, yeah. He's probably just playing a, yeah.
Probably there. You like
Here?
that ice? I think it should curl.
All right, you had a great discussion with Coach Mickey. They laid out the options, and I like the thinking of Coach Mickey.
I don't know.
That let's
So?
make the run back. If we
You think I
make
need
the
to fill
draw,
this?
he's got almost has to play the run back, and which is the
Didn't it
more
look right
difficult
out of my
run
hand
back.
on
And they
my
felt
first
that was the more difficult run back. If they draw to, well, the right side from our viewing position here. So I doesn't matter if I like the call, but I do. We've had quality timeouts here by the coaches in this game. Well, here we go.
Little out there. Lots of room.
Tick under the yellow.
It's okay. Where? Close. Close. Take.
Wait only.
Yeah, Josh. Josh. Hard, Josh. Hard. Take. Oh. Take.
Very, very nice.
Pretty good shot. But because it went into the full 8 foot, now Ontario can just duplicate it. So there's not going to play the run back. And of course, as I said, he won the Ontario Championship with a run back, but it was the only shot he had. So just follow him down. This is why the skips get the big
boys.
dollars, Al.
Yep. 15. What was that?
So
going
does the backing even enter his mindset here, Bill?
Shouldn't.
Okay, let's do
If you do, the tendency is to be heavy. For the
Quick
win.
West.
Oh, I don't
Might
think
need
he's
to
light,
use it.
Al. Ooh.
Don't hate it. Don't hate it. Close. We're close.
Matthew McCready getting that broom ready.
Sit big.
Well, he was heavy right out of the hat.
Yep.
Right
And
out of
that
the hat.
is a big 4-3 win for BC's Hayato Sato. Stealing the 9, stealing the 10th, and a 4-3 win for the home team here at the 2020 New Holland Canadian Juniors. What an emotional win for that team. And a tough loss for Ontario, but they'll try and bounce back later. A reminder, we will have Draw 3 action at 7:30 p.m. Pacific Time, 10:30 Eastern on Curling Canada's YouTube page from the 2020 New Holland Canadian Juniors. And you can watch the opening ceremonies at 6:30 p.m. Pacific, 9:30 Eastern on Curling Canada's Facebook page, facebook.com/Curling Canada. Thank you all for watching. We'll be back tonight.